1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another deadline stream for game week 3. People have got transfers to make, transfers to use. I've still got 2 free transfers. I haven't made any yet. A few people asked me whether or not I went early on Nicholas Jackson because he did rise in price last night, but I didn't. I just prefer getting extra information usually. Plus, we've had so many injuries the first couple of weeks. I didn't want to risk it. Anyway, hope you are all doing well. Anyone made their transfers? Anyone calm? I'm feeling pretty calm. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go Nicholas Jackson unless I get last-minute panic on Julian Alvarez. But put Phoenix back on. You can go and play it. It's on Spotify. I'm going to turn it off right now, actually, because it does my head in otherwise. Having to listen to the same music over for like an hour. Friday night deadlines are top. I prefer Saturday deadlines for content, but I do prefer Friday deadlines for life, which is probably the better way to go. George upgraded his membership, thank you very much. Lucas sells Salah and Pedro to Foden and Jackson. I mean, it's okay, but Salah and João Pedro will probably both start. So if you've got another move you can make, I'd do that and just hold them to those two. It's not a guarantee Pedro starts, and you might want to get rid of him eventually. If you do, then fair enough, not a bad move. I'm still probably going to sell Watkins and keep Pickford. Like I don't know what could go wrong with that. Honestly, I think there's literally nothing that could go wrong with keeping Pickford and selling Watkins. JP starting, or will it be Welbeck and Ferguson? I mean, it could be Welbeck and Ferguson, but I think João Pedro will probably start. But look, he's now like a Man City player. You're going to have this all the time, right? FPL will be boring if Salah goes to Saudi. I don't think he will go. Like the amount of money that would make. The amount of money that they would have to stump up to make Liverpool sell, I just think it'd be too crazy. Steve, thank you very much. I'm starting Maddison over Udogie. If he starts, he is better. Agree. If they bench him and feel the need to bring him on, then the clean is likely gone anyway. Yeah, I kind of get the logic. I think there's a good chance Maddison will start, but again, it's not a guarantee. But if you want him long term, he's a good hold because he should be back next week regardless. So yeah, I completely understand that. Luke, bench one, Maddison, Gabriel, Udogie. Probably, oh God, Gabriel. I'll probably bench Gabriel, I think. The thing is, I feel like I feel like Gabriel probably starts, but honestly, it's not a guarantee. And I also said that loads of people, including myself, said that last week, right? It didn't happen. So, I mean, how many weeks did we go through it? Like, I think for some people it makes sense to start him, but I think when you've got a player that's almost certainly going to start, you just play him instead. I guess there's no guarantee that Gabriel starts whatsoever. Arteta might play someone else. They could play Zinchenko there. Kivior could play instead of Tomiyasu, right? They got options. So I would probably bench him. Start Gabriel or Henry. I would start Henry. If I don't sell Salah and Pedro, I will have to make a Pickford transfer. Feels boring. Yeah, in which case do it. If you want those two players anyway. Job done. Week 1 of Foden versus Mbeumo for 20 subs. True. I was actually thinking earlier, could I do something where if I get 400,000 subscribers by a certain point, like I think we can hit 400k by the end of the season, but if we could do it much sooner, could I then give away 400 channel subs? It'd be a lot of money, wouldn't it? That would be a lot of money. Probably not. No, I've just thought of how much that is out loud in my head. Probably not. But if we could do it in like a week or so, then maybe. Should hit 375k by the international break, hopefully. That's the new aim. So if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do. Obviously, if you want to check out Fantasy Football Hub, all the links are in the description as well. There's also a link to get your team rated in the chat pinned. I'm listening to music. I'm humming along. People hate that. Bench one, Saliba, Estupinian, Akanji. I don't think like so many people are benching Estupinian. I just can't do it. I get it, right. His assist last week was just a short pass that Matoma actually smashed it. But he got an assist the first week. Could have had 2. Got a goal as well last week. I just can't bench Estupinian. So it's Saliba and Akanji. I mean, Man City defence is better, but it's away from home. And is Akanji definitely going to start? I mean, presumably he will, because he always seems to start whenever I doubt him. But I think I'll go Saliba. Just for that extra safety. Onana and JP, that's what we're calling him now, João Pedro. João Pedro is one of those names that you can't just say Pedro. Onana and JP to a 4.5 million goalkeeper and Vissa Alvarez for -4. No, I wouldn't do that. Don't think it's worth -4. One free transfer, sell Pedro for Jackson. Probably not. I think you're probably better off rolling. Am I tilting Foden and Jackson in for Matoma and Watkins -4? I don't think that's worth a -4 at all, to be honest. I get it, right? We'll have to laugh about Foden. I've got such a fear of missing out with Foden and Alvarez this week. I'm not going to own either of them. Would you do Gabriel to Colwill and Watkins to Jackson? I mean, you could just make one of those moves. Watkins doesn't have to be moved on this week. Obviously, if you've got a lot of confidence in Jackson, then you can do it. But for me, the only reason I'm selling is because I've got not much else to do. I think I'd rather, I don't know, Colwill's okay, but I think I'd rather just get Gusto and save the money and just hope that James is out a bit longer. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do both. Stay safe and Captain Haaland or risk and Captain Jackson. I mean, that's completely up to you. I just think Haaland against a newly promoted side like Sheffield United, I just can't go against him. I won't go against him most weeks, as you know, but not that week. Benching Maddison or Pedro? I'll probably bench Maddison out of those two. My reason being, João Pedro's not injured at all. And I feel like he's going to start because Enciso's out. It's not a guarantee, but it's not a guarantee Maddison starts either. Plus, João Pedro's on penalties. Do we see Pickford to Edison? Nah. I'm saving that money because I probably want Trippier some point soon. Newcastle made Foden look amazing. Who's to say Foden can play like that again against a different team? And who's to say he will start? Yeah, I mean, there's always a little bit of worry over starts. But I mean, Foden is a great option. I know I kind of said that everyone went nuts about him because of one good performance against Newcastle. But ultimately, the only thing that really matters with him is playing time. I think he's going to get it over the next couple of weeks. So I think it's a perfectly reasonable player to bring in. It'd be interesting to know, though, from people that did Maddison to Foden, if they'd had this news that he's available for Game Week 3, would they still have made that move? People getting punished for early transfers a lot at the moment. Sell Saka or Rashford? If you have to sell one right now, I'd probably sell Rashford, but I don't think there's much in it. I actually don't know about that one. I feel like if Rashford, I know this is going to sound so like such a stupid thing to say, but if Rashford and Saka were both playing how we know they can, then I'd actually rather sell Saka because Rashford's much more likely to get you a goal. But with the way Man United is set up right now, they've now lost Luke Shaw as well. We don't know when Højlund's going to play. We don't know if Rashford's going to go back to left wing. I'd probably sell Rashford ahead of Saka, but I wouldn't sell either this week. Wouldn't sell either. Wildcard this week, have Gabriel, João Pedro and Salah, and worried about no Mbeumo, Chilwell or any other Chelsea assets. I would probably just take make two transfers and sort that out. Like Salah and João Pedro will play, so Gabriel's your only issue. Have you got money to get to Chilwell? You could do Gabriel to Chilwell, Salah to Mbeumo if you wanted to, and just have loads of money for next week. It doesn't sound to me like you need a wild card. Who to sell? Foden to Rashford, Jota or Maddison? Oh, who to sell for Foden? Oh, Rashford, Jota or Maddison? I'd probably sell Jota, to be honest. Just think he's the least likely to start, like moving forward. Like he's the biggest rotation risk of the three, isn't he? I mean, he'll probably play again. He's started both games so far, but I saw someone the other day. I can't remember who it is, so apologies. It was someone on Discord, and they said like it was for two other players, but they basically said which team sheet are you going to check first. And I feel like if you've got Rashford, Maddison and Jota, apart from this week because Maddison's a little bit of a doubt, you're always going to be checking the Liverpool team sheet first, right? Because you know deep down Jota's the... Like for me, for Arsenal, the first player I'll check for is Martinelli. I won't check for Saka. So I think you've got to sell Jota out of those three. But obviously Liverpool, much better attacking side than Man United, so that could go wrong. Who should I bench out of Mbeumo, Wissa and Mitoma? I'd probably bench Wissa out of those three. Generally, people don't need to be benching Wissa, though. Salah and Baptiste and Bayer to Diaz, Mbeumo and Udogie. I mean, if Diaz keeps starting, that's fine, but I wouldn't like to predict that. But overall, I think that's some big upgrades. You don't have to go for Diaz. You could go for someone else. Like Mbeumo and Udogie are good. Salah and João Pedro out for a -4 for Jackson and Mbeumo. I don't really think it needs a -4, to be honest with you. Like Newcastle away, okay, it's not easy. But Salah is Salah, right? He's great. And João Pedro is probably going to start at home to West Ham on penalties. I mean, Jackson and Mbeumo are great. I'm probably going to own both by the end of this deadline stream. But -4 doesn't really feel worth it. I'm confused. So Chilwell passes, the ball deflects through a defender. Chukwuemeka scores, no Ben assist. Luka Dean passes the ball, deflects through a defender. Bailey scores, and Luka Dean gets the assist. I can't remember what the Luka Dean assist was, but Ben Chilwell was never an assist because he passed it and it got kicked back to Chukwuemeka. It wasn't an intended target. The intended target for Ben Chilwell's pass was Jackson, from what I remember. So it was never a... It's not a case of it deflects, therefore it's still an assist. It's how it deflects as well. Like, if a ball comes in, like if a player crosses a ball to the penalty spot and a defender heads it out to a player on the outside of the box, like, that's not an assist, right? Because that's not where he was aiming for. Which is similar to what... It's not exactly the same, but it's similar to what happened with Chukwuemeka. That's not who he was trying to pass to, basically. Should we... I can't remember what the Lucas Dean to Bailey one was, though. Should we still sell Pedro to Jackson with 2 frees? If you got nothing else, like I think with João Pedro, right, he's definitely become better minutes-wise because of Enciso being out. It doesn't guarantee him a start, but it makes it much more likely. So if you've got other stuff to do, you could keep João Pedro. But if you've got nothing else to do, then he's still sellable. But I think for most people, it now makes more sense to keep. So if you've got 2 free transfers and nothing else to do, and you want to do João Pedro to Jackson to take a punt on the fixtures, then go for it. But João Pedro doesn't need to be sold now, I would say. 2 free transfers, happy with my team. João Pedro to Jackson or Alvarez, already have Foden. So I'm between the two, right? And I'm just going to say right now, I'm reserving the right to change my mind by 6:30. But I'm probably going to go for Jackson. I'm very torn, though, because I think for the next 2 game weeks, 3 and 4, Jackson and Alvarez will both start in both of those games. And Man City are a better team. They're going to score more goals than Chelsea probably over the next 2. And I just think we know what we're kind of going to get from them and Alvarez, whereas we don't quite know what we're going to get from Chelsea yet. But I just think after that, Pep Roulette will just annoy me. And I think if Jackson can do something over the next 2 games, that will kind of not secure his place as the number 9, but make it much more likely he keeps that place for a little while longer. Like there is risk with Jackson. Like, we're all worried about Man City buying new players. Like, Doku's come in, they might still buy a central player that can play as a number 10 or in that kind of, kind of in that area. Chelsea might buy a new bloody number 9 yet. Who knows? So, I don't know. There's risk with both of them. I think Alvarez maybe slightly more minutes-wise after game week 4. It's very close. I'm probably going to go for Jackson. But I keep looking at those Man City fixtures, like Sheffield United away, Fulham at home, West Ham away, Forest at home. I keep looking at them thinking, how do I only have Haaland? It's just madness. But I cannot sell Martinelli before Fulham at home. I just can't do it. And if he's benched, he's benched. And I think there's a chance, well, not a high chance, but there's always a chance he gets benched for Trossard or someone like that. But I'm hoping he plays again. I'm sure most people would agree. What I will say is, everyone was going nuts about Martinelli pre-season. Like, do you remember when Jesus got injured? All over Twitter. Oh, I can't believe now Jesus owners get to go for Martinelli. Martinelli's been rubbish so far. Those of us on Jesus would have had 2 6.5 million midfielders. Would have had Matoma as well. How much better would life have been? So I want Martinelli to repay the lack of faith I have in him, basically. And Fulham could be that team because Fulham defence is really bad. Spencer, thank you very much for becoming a member. Mukhtar, sell Gabriel for Vardiol and Watkins for Alvarez. My team is kind of similar to yours. I don't know. I just feel with Watkins, right? I think most people who don't sell him this week will want to sell him next week because it's going to be Liverpool. Is it Liverpool at home or Liverpool away? I can't remember. Let me see. Yeah, Liverpool away. I think most people are going to want to sell him, especially if Alvarez and Jackson do better than him this week. But I'm only selling because I've got one transfer. I think you could easily just keep him. I don't think you need to move for Alvarez this week. So Gabriel to Vardiol might be a better move. I mean, I should just say, like with any Man City player, Vardiol is not a guarantee of starts. But, you know, he could get decent enough minutes. Enough? But we'll see. We'll see. Like, I'm never going to fully trust... I'm never going to fully trust any Man City player, I don't think. Like, if I was going to go for a defender, I'd probably go Diaz if I could afford it. Super Tiger, bench one of Salah, Watkins, Mbeumo or Matoma. It's got to be Watkins or Matoma. I'd probably bench Watkins out of those. Just keep the midfielders, penalties, extra points for goals, clean sheets, etc. Make sure you keep track of your Foden versus Mbeumo bet. I'll tell you what will happen right now. Is if Foden smashes it, everyone will happily keep track. But if Mbeumo smashes it, everyone will forget that bet was ever made. I guarantee it. But yes, and don't worry, I'm a little bit more worried about that bet than I was when I made it. Let's just say that. But that's because everyone's just constantly going on about Foden. But you know what? Doku's available now. Bernardo Silva's available. Is everyone as confident about the minutes of Foden and Alvarez moving forward? Are you? Who knows? Who knows? We will see. Is Richarlison a viable punt this round compared to benching him for João Pedro or Jackson? I would play João Pedro and Jackson ahead of Richarlison, I think. But he's a perfectly viable punt. Yeah, if you want to go for it. Foden definitely plays. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to start this week for sure. It's just about all the other weeks after this, right? It would be funny if he didn't start, though, wouldn't it? It'd be a little bit funny if he didn't start. I, for one... would definitely not take great pleasure in Foden or Alvarez being benched. I would just hate it for everyone that's brought him in. The thing is, like, Foden's now one of these players that as soon as he does well, I'm going to get loads of tweets as if like I think he's this really bad player, when obviously I don't. I think he's great. I just can't sell any of my midfielders this week. And to be honest, I'm starting to get more worried about Man United now. I don't know, it's just not properly clicked. I mean, they have created a few chances. It's not properly clicked. Luke Shaw's now injured. Mount's out as well. I mean, I guess my general thought with Foden is Foden will definitely outscore at least one of my midfielders, but I'm not quite confident enough to make the move on who that might be. I mean, he might outscore all of them in the end. Mbeumo getting another penalty but missing it. The thing is, would be funnier. Mbeumo's quite good at penalties. He's very similar to Tony. Like, you know, sometimes you get players like Watkins, Mitrovic, Salah even now, who step up and take penalties. You're never fully confident. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think any time in FPL your player takes a penalty, you're always a little bit worried. But Mbeumo's actually pretty good at them. But yes, he could miss sooner rather than later. It could happen. CFC97, thank you very much for being a member for 13 months. 2 free transfers. Hart says Maddison to Foden and Pedro to Jackson. Brain says Maddison to Mbeumo. Go with your heart. Go with your heart. Do it. I would say... I mean, I always think, like, if you're really not sure, there's 2 things you can do, right? Flip a coin, and if it lands on one and then you think, oh, I wish it had landed on the other one, then you know deep down you wanted to make the other move. But also, sometimes I try and think about what would I... be more annoyed at. Like, if you bring in Foden and Mbeumo does well, is that going to annoy you more or less than if you bring in Mbeumo and Foden does well? You know me. I love Mbeumo. I think he's great. So you know which way I kind of fall on this. Like, if I bring Foden in, it's probably not going to be for him. It's probably going to be for someone else. A few people asking me. I think I saw. A few people asking me. I haven't made any moves yet. My probable move is going to be Watkins to Jackson and roll, I think. Watkins to Jackson and roll. I mean, a few people mentioned doing Kabori to Gusto and rolling. The thing is, I would probably bench Gusto this week. I don't think I'd play him ahead of any of my defenders. And I just think Reece James could be back by game week 6. And so if I'm going to bench Gusto this week and James is back by game week 6, let's say, I only get game weeks 4 and 5. Now, to be fair, I probably will need to make a defender transfer next week. Possibly. But if I get stuck, I can just play Chilwell against Forest, Estupiñán against Newcastle, and Udogie against Burnley away. So it's not really that big of an issue for me, I don't think. But Gusto is is an option. Have I put a typo on probable transfer? Oh yeah, my probably transfer. Thanks for pointing that out. I'm a bit of an idiot. My probable transfer. Triple captain? Nah, don't think so. My name is FPL Tomorrow and welcome to another deadline comment. Arteta has confirmed Jesus in the squad for Fulham, rolling to bring him in, and one of my 2 Arsenal and 2 Man United out is my plan. Yeah, I don't mind Jesus in. I mean, I can't see me getting him anytime soon just because of how things have kind of fallen now. Like, if I bring Jackson in, I'm not going to just go and get Jesus. And also, I'm probably going to line up a move for Trippier at some point. What does give away 400 channel subs mean? Well, there's channel memberships and you can gift them. So I could potentially gift... I'm not going to probably gift 400. I mean, if we got 400,000 subscribers by like next week, I'll consider it. But that's not going to happen. I'd have to push it too much and people will go nuts. Bayer to Vardiol before price rise or roll. I mean, it's not a bad move, but I guess the thing to consider with moves like that is you're putting a 4 million defender to a 5 million one, right? So you're spending an extra million on a spot, and presumably Bayer is mostly on your bench. So what am I trying to say? It's not bad to have a good bench, right? And actually, I think people who have had good benches last couple of weeks with injuries and stuff, it's actually helped them. Obviously, it doesn't help when Reece James is one of the players on your bench. I get that. But I guess you've got to think about what it does to future plans. Because, like, for me, I've got Kabori on the bench. If I suddenly move him to someone who's a million more, I've got a million less to spend on the rest of my players. So, Bayer to Vardiol, obviously in isolation, sounds great. You're going from a Burnley defender to a Man City one. But do you need that money for any future moves, is the question to ask yourself. Give yourself an FPL price based on you in your prime. I don't think I've ever been in prime. I don't think I've ever been in prime. I'd say I'd have to be 4.5 million. Probably a 4.5 million forward because they're usually the most useless spots. Although, Archer to Sheffield United is getting closer. And actually, I'm surprised we haven't heard any more. But I think Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano were tweeting about it. So, and FPL Villain. Got to put him in the same category. So hopefully Archer to Sheffield United happens soon. And I can just permanently bench him and probably never get any points from him, like Rhian Brewster. Bench 1, Matoma or Wissa. I'd bench Wissa. Bench boosting with Turner, Gusto, Henry, and JP. Do you know what? Don't hate that. George, mid, Saka, Martinelli, Bruno, Rashford, Matoma, and 2 free transfers. Sell 1 for Foden or Mbeumo, who... I'm going to say Mbeumo. Do you know what? I'm going to put it in the chat, right? Select a poll. Who to bring in this week? Mbeumo or Foden? Let's see what the chat says, because I feel like I'm too biased on this. I would probably do Mbeumo, I think. Would I really? I think I would. I think. Who would you move next week but don't want to burn a transfer? Or Gabriel, Naught in the bank, Henry, already have a doggy. If you've got nothing else to do, I'd be tempted to do Martinelli out, but it could massively backfire. Archer is close to a price drop. Well, that sounds about right. Do you know what? I don't even mind, to be honest. If he drops to 4.4 million but he starts playing every single week, I think that's fine. And all it will take is a goal, and suddenly his price will be back up, right? Because people will bring him in. So if he drops in price and doesn't move, or he goes out of the Premier League, that would be bad. But if he doesn't, happy days. Palace tougher defence than Sheffield United. True that. But guaranteed minutes and penalties counts for something, you know. Plus, there's fixtures after this week. I'm telling you now, everyone's going, 51% in Burmo, 49% Foden so far. Anyway, we'll see how that works out in a minute. Jack, 11 months member, thank you very much. Except Haaland, your 3 must-have picks for Game Weeks 3 and 4. I mean, I've not thought about this enough. Chilwell. I mean, I was going to say Man United and Arsenal players, but given how they've done so far, I'm not quite sure about that. I mean, if I was picking a free hit team for 2 weeks, I'd probably go Foden, Mbeumo, and Chilwell. I think. I mean, you should probably include some Man United Arsenal players in, but we'll go with that. I think while Chilwell's playing left wing, I just can't go without that. Why is no one talking about Jesus being ready today? We have kind of mentioned it. Like, what do you want to talk about? It's not that interesting, really, is it? I mean, the thing is, it's no guarantee he starts, and the only player he really is going to affect is Nketiah, and I imagine most people don't have Nketiah. So it's not really... I mean, it's not that interesting for this week, I suppose. I'm planning Salah to... Alright, don't spam. Let's not spam now. Let's not spam. I know the chat is fast, but... I'm planning Salah to Sterling and Baldock to Udogie. This will help me do a double transfer in Game Week 5 for Isak and Trippier. Good move. It sounds like you got it pretty well planned out. I'm okay with Trippier in Game Week 5. I'm still not quite sure about Isak because I think at some point Wilson will start. But to us, by the time that happens, I'm sure Isak will have bagged a load of points and I'll be behind. But yes, theoretically, Isak could be good. Jesus means Martinelli won't be as wide. Yeah, but again, is that a massive thing for this week? Because again, Jesus is not guaranteed to start, and anyone that's got Martinelli is probably not selling him. Most people, anyway. Have I ever rolled 2 free transfers if you're happy with your whole squad? Like burnt a transfer? I don't think I've ever done that. I don't. Most times people don't have such a good squad they can burn a transfer. Like let's say that I couldn't sell Watkins for any reason, or let's say I couldn't sell any of my first 11 apart from my goalkeeper maybe, then I would probably do Kabori to Gusto or Pickford to Sanchez, something like that. I don't think I'd burn a transfer. Or even Turner to Areola, to be honest. Because West Ham's a stronger defence than Nottingham Forest. So that's another move I can make. So have I done it? I don't recall, but I've definitely considered it last year at times. Am I confirming my team before 6:30? Well, we've got to remember the Chelsea game is the first game this week, so we might get some news. So I'm going to probably do it as late as possible. Have the same team as you, just Onana instead of Pickford, 2 free transfers. Should I do Onana to Sanchez? He has Arsenal and Brighton in game week 3 or 4, or do Watkins to Jackson? I think Onana's a pretty fine long-term hold, so unless you're desperate to get rid of him, I'd just do the other move. What did I learn from last season? Bench Haaland, Captain Haaland more often. Mbeumo or Sterling for Trossard? I think Mbeumo is the better pick, but Sterling is definitely a nice punt for the fixtures they got coming up. I think I'm going to give Jackson another game week before buying and keep Watkins against Burnley. That is perfectly reasonable. Perfectly reasonable. Pickford replacement between Flecken and Sanchez. I mean, Flecken's pretty good. He's kind of been forgotten about. And Brentford have got some good fixtures, but I think I would go Sanchez and back Chelsea and hope that they stop being rubbish. Dylan, thank you very much. Zerkic, 2 free transfers. 1 transfer is in Mbeumo for Trossard. 2nd transfer in Nketiah for Porro or Udogie for sure. I wouldn't buy or sell Nketiah. Or I don't know if... Yeah, you're saying Nketiah in for João Pedro. Well, if Jesus is back, you can't buy Nketiah. So I guess it's got to be Udogie for sure. And keep João Pedro. Would you play Gusto or Estepinian? Brighton haven't kept a clean sheet and surely his attack and returns aren't sustainable. Yeah, you've got to be careful with comments like that though. Because, yes, of course he's not going to get 3 returns every 2 game weeks, but he is just a good attacking defender. So there's nothing to say he can't get another return this week. They haven't kept a clean sheet and they have given up quite a few chances. So... I know people that are oh Christ! I know people that are benching Estepinian, but I just couldn't do it. He's too attacking, so I don't. And also, Gusto, is he 100% nailed? I guess he probably is. While James is out, I mean, especially with Mudryk out. I mean, Chilwell's probably going to play left wing again. So yeah, I'd probably I can't bench Estepinian. I just can't do it. It's too attacking. I just think like when you've got FPL players, right? Obviously you watch football to watch football, but sometimes you watch them for your FPL players. And Chilwell and Estepinian are 2 of the players in my team that I most like watching. Just can't do it. Just can't do it. Can only start 2 of Eze, Saliba, Estepinian, and João Pedro. I mean, in this case, I might bench Estepinian because I'd probably play the 2 attackers, João Pedro and Eze. I wouldn't be happy about it. You've got such a good squad, you're going to bench Saliba and Estepinian. That's crazy. Onana and Saka for Foden and Ederson. I don't think Onana needs to be sold this week against Nottingham Forest at home, to be completely honest. And I don't think Saka needs to be sold either. So I would say probably not, but sure, if you want to go for it. Fazy, 6 months member, thank you very much. Sell Rashford or Salah to get Foden. And then with the funds, get Alvarez or Man City defender. I'd probably rather punt on Alvarez than a Man City defender. It's a bit more exciting at least. Sell Salah or Rashford? I guess Rashford, but if you're not going to sell Salah, you just have to consider what that will do for future moves, because obviously it frees up a lot more money. Scott, thank you very much. Taylor, I have one free transfer, nothing in the bank. Would you sell Salah to bring in Foden and the extra cash? The thing is, unless you're going to take a hit, you don't need that cash. So, like, Foden could outscore Salah this week, but if I was... I'd rather have Salah and not take... Sorry, I'd rather have Salah and roll the transfer, I think. One free transfer left. Transfer Gabriel for Henry. Would you transfer Watkins for Jackson or roll? I'd probably roll. Steve, Chelsea are absolutely trying to buy a striker. They were after Balogun and heavily linked with others. Have they been heavily linked? I'm not sure about heavily linked. But yes, they probably are going to buy a striker. It's a little bit of a worry, but let's see. They might buy an attacker that's not an out-and-out striker. They could be like a number 10, right? Surely that's what they need more. They've got Broja coming back from injury. They've got Jackson already there. And I appreciate like neither of them are massively experienced. But they've lost Nkunku and Chukwuemeka. They don't have a number 10 really right now. They need Nkunku back. We were robbed of Nkunku in our FPL teams. Would you start João Pedro or Eze? Good question. Brentford away, or what? I guess I'd start... The thing is, Eze definitely starts, doesn't he? João Pedro, there has to be some worry there, even though I think he will play. Oh, I think JP will start. Better attack and better fixture, but Eze has the minutes. I'd probably lean towards João Pedro as well, but obviously you got to understand that is the slightly riskier pick in terms of minutes. The poll is almost as tight as Brexit. Let's not talk about Brexit. Should I sell Shaw for Diaz for a free transfer, but I have a full playable team because Eshpinian can come in, or should I roll and take a price drop? I would make the move if you definitely want to do that next week and you're going to be priced out, but if you're not going to be priced out, I would just take the price drop and go with your team this week if it's good. Sterling captain, very nice. Very punty that. Is James Maddison starting? He's available, so he could start, but I can't guarantee it, of course. Game week 3, Shaw and Gabriel to Vardiol or Akanji. I'd probably say Akanji, to be honest, but again, no guarantee. Pedro to Alvarez. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that this week. Game week 4, Rashford to Mbeumo because I already have Matoma. The thing is, all it's going to take is one good performance from Rashford and Fernandes and the narrative will change. So I don't think you can really confirm you're going to make those Game week 4 moves. So I'd probably go Akanji and not do the Alvarez move, really. This is my prediction. If Man United can score some goals, this is my narrative prediction. So let's just say, I mean, the prediction for this week could be that Rashford's just not going to score again. But let's say he scores. This is the narrative for next week. Well, you know what? Man United and Arsenal is always full of goals. So I'm just going to keep hold of Rashford. And look, Brighton is not that difficult. Brighton is difficult, but actually they've conceded quite a few chances. Like Estupiñán hasn't kept a clean sheet for 3 weeks. And then after that, you got a newly promoted side, a home game against Palace, Brentford at home, and you get to play a newly promoted side again. So actually, maybe it's worth keeping Rashford. That's what's going to happen if Rashford scores against Nottingham Forest. I guarantee it. But the other prediction could just be that Nottingham Forest beat Man United and we all just sell him. But that's what's going to happen. What if it's Forest 1, Man United 0, your week is ruined? Yeah, pretty much. Do you know what the thing is? I've kind of gotten away with holding them this week in the comments because, of course, there's some people who think they should be sold, but the majority of people kind of understand why I'm keeping them because it's Forest at home. The comments are going to be really bad next week because I can't see me selling either of them no matter what happens this week unless they get injured. I think I'd rather sell Martinelli first. So I think even if they blank again, Fernandes and Rashford will still be in my team next week. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. Sell Shaw to Chilwell / City / Udogie / Man United 0.5 in the bank. Chilwell for sure. Areola or Johnson to start. So West Ham have got Brighton away, and Johnson's got Brentford away, Brighton away. I'd probably start Johnston, to be honest. It's not even typical Man United fan. Rashford's got a bit more goal threat than Martinelli, especially when he moves back to the left. And Fernandes is on penalties and absolutely nailed. That's all it is, really. Like, bearing in mind, I haven't said that I might sell Saka. I've only said Martinelli. We'll see. All it takes is a Foden hat-trick, which he's fully capable of against a team like Sheffield United. And I'll change my tune, and I'll just sell them all. I have my triple captain on Chilwell tonight. Oh, my days. That is brave, Chris. I also have a goalkeeper dilemma. Start Onana or Johnston. I mean, it's got to be Onana, right? Home to Nottingham Forest. I don't think there's anything to consider there. It's got to be Onana. Is Odegaard a must instead of or as well as Saka? If you think Odegaard's guaranteed to just be on penalties, all the penalties in the future, then Odegaard's probably better than Saka. But it's definitely not. I wouldn't be worried about it right now. I wouldn't be worried about doing that right now. I've only got Haaland, but City are definitely winning 4-6-0. I know. I'm so worried. The thing is, this is where team goals don't matter, right? Because they could win 5-0, and Foden might get an assist. Because Alvarez has got a hat-trick, or Haaland's got a hat-trick more likely. You know, Doku has come off the bench for Foden in the 60th minute, picked up 2 assists. All these things can happen. Udogie or Gabriel to start? I think that's really tough. I don't think that's fair that you've asked me that. I think I would probably go Udogie because I would be more confident that he starts. Again, like just to reiterate, I think Gabriel it's not even that I necessarily think he starts. I think he's got more of a chance to start than he did last week because they've now lost Tomiyasu as well. But it's not a guarantee, and so I don't know if it's worth it when you've got Udogie. The only time I would play Gabriel is, I don't know, like in maybe a scenario where you've already used a bunch of transfers and you've got like Luke Shaw definitely out, and you don't really want to take a hit, and then maybe you could go Gabriel there. But for Udogie, Gabriel, I'd probably start Udogie. Gabriel definitely starts. I just wouldn't be confident enough to say that. Check the poll, yeah. So 5,593 votes, and Burmo wins 51-49. There you go. So whoever's thinking about Burmo or Foden, you got your answer. Let's do another one, actually. Let's do another poll. Let's transfer in. Right, do another poll and answer some more questions. Bench one of a Kanji, João Pedro, and Burmo. Definitely a Kanji. Should I use both transfers to replace Gabriel too, or should I roll one and use Udogie? Yeah, you can definitely use Udogie. Any defenders from City and Chelsea, not Chilwell, who to pick? Diaz, I would say, from City. Is probably the next one I would look at. No info about. Well, I'm not going to get any Arsenal info. I mean, I could ask for it, I guess, but I don't think I want to go down that road after last time. Also, the game's not till 3 PM tomorrow, so none of it's even guaranteed. Is it crazy to bench Estupinian? I mean, there's not many players I would bench Estupinian for, but there's lots of people that are benching him, so it's not. I don't think it's crazy. Don't want to burn a transfer. Should I get Martinelli for Bruno Rashford? I wouldn't bring Martinelli in for Bruno or Rashford. No, I think there's surely another transfer you could do instead. Bench one of João Pedro, Udogie, or Gusto. I'd probably bench Udogie just because he's away. That's about it. I think Gusto should start home against Luton. Bench boost this week with -4. Turner, Pickford, Udogie, Henry Chilwell, Estupinian. Who's the bench though? I mean, you've got lots of players with good fixtures, but you've got Botman away, like home to Newcastle. Turner away to Man United. I mean, it's okay bench boost. I suspect you might have better options in the future though. Bayer to Vardy, I'll have Gabori on bench. Don't need the money. We'll drop Rashford, Martinelli, and Burma, Eze, Madison, Mitoma, depending on this week's results. Yeah, go for it then. Like, if you've got the plan set up, then it's fine, right? It's fine to do whatever. Just like one move for one person might not be the best move for another, you know. Bench one, Pedro, Gusto, Udogie, Callum, thank you, Callum. Bench one, Saliba, Vardiol, João Pedro, Vardiol. Got. Surely Arsenal must be quite high up for a clean sheet this week, like Man City, right? Got Steele, Matoma, JP, and Shaw. Which of them three do I sacrifice for Shaw to Estepinian transfer, and who to bring in, or risk no Estepinian? Well, if you've got a good defence, you could risk no Estepinian. He's not going to be as good for people in the next couple of weeks as he is, this week and the previous two. I probably wouldn't want to sell any of those players. If you've got a good defence, you don't need to sell Shaw this week. Alex, thank you. Matthew, Wissa, bench, and Matoma or Saka and 4. Wissa on the bench and Matoma or Saka and a 4.5 million attacker. I mean, to be honest, Wissa and Matoma is probably slightly better for you over the long run. But I think in isolation, I'd rather have Saka playing most weeks. I have a meeting in 4 minutes. Oh, damn, you sent this 12 minutes ago. Hopefully you delayed your meeting. Please respond. 1 free transfer, nothing in the bank. Would you drop Salah for Foden? I don't think I would. I feel like the Foden bandwagon is getting out of control where we're bringing him in with 1 free transfer for Salah. Surely not. I mean, it's Newcastle away. I guess I kind of get it, but can't do it. Archer to Semenyo. I probably wouldn't do that. I would just hope that Archer moves to Sheffield United and starts getting minutes. Also, Semenyo didn't start the first game, so I don't know how many starts he's going to get moving forward. But he did look pretty good against Liverpool. How about Gabriel to Walker, Martinelli to Mbeumo? I don't like buying Walker. I mean, he's probably going to be fine for the next couple of weeks, but I hate Man City defenders so much. I probably wouldn't do that, no. And also, selling Martinelli this week's not great. I mean, Martinelli to Mbeumo and Gabriel to a better defender, sure. But I'm not sure about Walker. I'd rather just spend that money on Diaz or someone like that, I think. Like, Walker's not that attacking either. And he doesn't necessarily guarantee you minutes, so I'm not the biggest fan of that. Start Jackson or João Pedro. I hadn't even thought about that. I Luton at home, but penalties. I mean, in that case, I think you take the guaranteed start from Jackson, right? But benching penalty takers is not fun. Again, why have people got such good squads? That's the thing. I tell everyone, like, good squads are not something to be worried about, and then I can't handle the questions that come with them. If no Mbeumo, Martinelli to Mbeumo, I don't see why you do that this week, really. I can't really see much of a reason to sell Martinelli. I've not seen any Chelsea team news. I'm not expecting to get it, so I'd have to wait and see if someone else posts it, really. Rashford, Martinelli to Mbeumo or Watkins to Jackson, Visser. I'd probably sell Watkins first. I mean, that is what I'm doing. Bench Rashford or Alvarez. Oh my god. Honestly, I'd probably bench Alvarez. And it's nothing to do with the fact you got Foden. I would take, I don't know. No, I do think Alvarez is going to start. I think I'm still going Rashford. I'll let you know if there's any Chelsea team news, but no, I don't have any team news right now. I'm also unlikely to get something directly, so it'll probably just come from other people. But I will keep scouring Twitter and the like to see if we get any. It is the first game, obviously, so it's a possibility. Apologies, I lost the chat there. Not wearing Jack and Jones today. Nope. Gusto or Sanchez until wildcard in game week 8-9. I'm probably Sanchez because he's more likely to keep playing that long. What do you think about a punt on Son? Would have to go without Foden. I'd rather have Foden than Son, to be honest. I mean, they got the fixtures, so Son could do well, but I'm not sure we've seen a huge amount from him so far. Obviously, 2 tougher games, but still. I have 2 free transfers and 2 million in the bank, and I have Gabriel Madison. What should I do? I'd probably sell Gabriel to Chilwell if you haven't already got him, or just some other defender. Diaz could be good too. Just hold on to Madison probably. If there's someone you really want in midfield, then I would also sell Madison, but there is a chance he starts. No watch along probably. They just don't get. I've said this before. They don't really get a huge amount of views, to be honest. So it's an extra 2 to 3 hours for something that's not that popular. Maybe one day. I ideally I'd do watch-alongs with other people, but they'd also be able to. They'd also need to be able to watch the games in real time. I've got a skybox in my office, so I can watch the games as they're on. I think if you're watching on delay, everyone in chat just tells you who scored, so it's just it's not quite as good. Sterling captain, who says no? I think anyone that owns Erling Haaland probably. 2 free transfers. If you want to go for it, go for it. 2 free transfers. Watkins to Jackson or bring Foden in. I mean, it depends. You want Foden? If you really want Foden, get him. Otherwise, do Watkins to Jackson. Jonathan, thank you. Abdulatif. I think I've probably butchered that. Apologies. Who to bench? João Pedro, Martinelli, Foden and Burmo, Rashford or Saka? Oh my days. I would probably bench João Pedro out of that lot and not be happy about it whatsoever. João Pedro or Martinelli, I think. Watch along with the cycling GK. He's too busy for the likes of me. Welcome to Let's Talk FPL member. Message retracted. I can't even see who that is, but thank you very much. You got like a profile picture as your profile picture, like a standard one. Gusto or Udogi for Gabriel? I would say I think Udogi's probably a better long-term pick. Gusto's probably slightly better in the short term. I'd probably go Udogi. Meg, FPL Cat Lady. 2 free transfer, 0.5 in the bank. Would you do Pickford to a new goalkeeper? Who? Sanchez maybe? Or Gabriel to a new defender? Who? Pickford may drop in price. Is Pickford going to drop in price? Oh my days. Is he that bad? That's not what you want from your goalkeeper. Oh, he might drop in price soon, you're right. Unless he picks up a clean sheet against Wolves. Smashed it. If you're not comfortable with Sanchez, I probably just wouldn't make a goalkeeper transfer for now. You've already got Chilwell, Estupinian, and Udogi. I would get... Oh, you can't get up to Diaz. I mean, maybe just go to Saliba. Or if you want to save some more cash, you could go Brentford defence. Or even Gusto as a long-term, as a short-term pick. It depends what your future moves are, but I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know about bringing Saliba in right now. I mean, you could risk a Man City defender. Or if you can raise some more cash, I would get Diaz. I would get Diaz if you can raise more cash from your other move. Otherwise, I would do... I don't know. I actually don't know. Saliba or Brentford defender, I think. I'm just not sure how much longer we're really going to want Brentford defenders for. Like, soon it's going to change to wanting Newcastle defenders. But not for the next 2 weeks, necessarily. Yeah, it's pretty tough. I guess Saliba's probably the best you can bring in for this week. Depends how he fits in with future weeks. The only Gabriel news is that he's not injured. There's not going to be any news about him starting. Unfortunately, I wish there would be. Start Gusto or João Pedro? I don't think I would start Gusto. I think. Sorry, João Pedro. Oh my days. Is it worth saving bench boost until a double game week or use now while I have a good squad with good fixtures? I mean, it might be. The thing is, no one can say for sure. It might be that in the future there's a really good week to use the bench boost and you'll regret using it now. If you've actually got a decent bench, like I think most people have got Turner. I don't know if I would bench boost with Turner on my bench really. It might not be that bad. I mean, a lot of people have got like João Pedro, a good defender, Estupinian on the bench. Fair enough. Maybe go for it, but I think I'd probably wait. Gabriel to Udogi or roll. I would do that move if you need a guaranteed start this week. If it's just someone on your bench, I wouldn't bother. We've still got over an hour to go. It feels like we've been streaming for about 5 hours. Is that a good or a bad thing? Why not Bruno to Foden? I just can't get rid. I can't get rid of a nailed-on penalty taker with Nottingham Forest at home. I was thinking actually, if I was free hitting this week, I would have to put Foden in there, wouldn't I? Who would I drop? Probably Martinelli. Again, I wouldn't be happy about it. Sell Salah for Bruno Fernandes and Chukwuemeka for Foden for 2 free transfers, or sell Gabriel for Henry or Colwell and roll 1 transfer. Already have Rashford. To be honest, I like the Fernandes and Foden moves. I think they sound pretty good to me. Especially if you're having to play Chukwuemeka. It's a bit more exciting than defender transfers as well, right? Best replacement for Darwin Nunez. Should I sell him? I mean, you definitely should sell him. Can't afford Watkins. Worried about minutes for Alvarez and Pedro. Not sold on Jackson. Wissa. So it sounds like your only option left, really. But there's absolutely no guarantee that Nunez starts at all. So Yeah, it's got to go. I'm getting some sensitivity in my teeth. It's all this streaming. Is getting Foden or Alvarez essential? I would say no, they're not essential. In midfield, I have Rashford, Bruno, Saka, Martinelli, and Burma, and don't feel like selling anyone, so don't sell them. And in forward, I'd rather do Pedro, Archer to Jackson instead of Alvarez. There you go then. You've already made the decision. Similar situation to me, to be honest. And I'm probably going to go Jackson as well. Can't wait to regret that. It's like either Jackson smashes it tonight and then you're happy. It doesn't matter what Alvarez does, or Jackson blanks tonight and then you've got to wait until Sunday to see what Alvarez does. Don't know. It's not always good having Friday night players if they don't score straight away. It can be a bit of a nightmare. You almost want that return. Rashford and Gabriel to Bruno and Chilwell -4, or just Gabriel to Gusto for free. Yeah, I mean, selling Rashford for a hit doesn't sound right. I mean, the thing is, you're going to want Chilwell, so I'd be slightly tempted to do it. You're going to want Chilwell for future weeks. So that I think if you can get the money for Chilwell, I'd be slightly tempted to do that. You're probably better off longer term. There ain't many -4s I like, but that one could be alright. I mean, selling Rashford to Fernandes for -4 could go horribly wrong. Let's just say that. But Chilwell, I think, has got to be one of the priority transfers in this week. Jonathan, thank you very much. Vendetta, keep Gabriel with 2 free transfers next week or sell for Colwill. I mean, if you've got 3 other defenders that you can play, I don't think Colwill is a massive priority. Why is nobody talking about Awani? He's literally scored his last 6 Premier League games. Just fixtures are really bad. Can I use FS Scout? I mean, I could use it, I guess, if I wanted to. I got everything in one place, right where I need it. Hit for Gabriel, Marseille, Pedro. Oh, Gabriel and Marseille and Pedro to Colwill and Burmo Jesus. Definitely not. What are your plans for next week if you're getting rid of Watkins now? Probably a midfield change, but I don't know for sure. I'll just decide next week with 2 free transfers. I haven't got a definite plan. What about changing keeper instead of getting rid of him if you don't want to burn? Yes, I could do that, but I feel like the thing is, I think I will want Watkins gone next week anyway, so I'll just do it this week. And that's what I was kind of saying on videos about getting ahead on my transfers. I could do the goalkeeper move and then keep Watkins, but what if in game week 4 I need to move Watkins and 2 of my midfielders or 1 of my defenders? Like, I'm probably going to be looking at defender transfers next week, and I might need to move on 1 of my midfielders, so it's just worth doing the Watkins transfer this week, I think. Again, he's not a must-sell. People have got 1 transfer, keep hold of him. He's great still. It's Burnley away, but I don't think I need to. Danny, 2 free transfers, Salah to Mbermo and Pedro to Alvarez, or only the Salah move and give Pedro at least 1 more week. I'd be tempted to do neither move, to be honest with you. I get it, though. You need the money, right, to do João Pedro. If you're going to do it, I'd do both moves, I think. I don't know about Salah to Mbermo. If there's something else you can do, I'd just maybe pot off that Salah and Pedro move for 1 more week. Confident Diaz gets most City defender minutes. I think for now, yeah. Foden and Rico Henry or Bruno and Udogie as starter. Bruno and Udogie, I say. Rashford and João Pedro out for Mbermo and Jackson. I don't think I would do that move this week, no. Archer to Semenyo, I've already answered. Already did Gabriel to Henry. Should I sell Eze for Foden? I probably wouldn't. Does it matter to you if it might block me from going Henry to Trippier in Game Week 5? Well, if you want Trippier, yes, that should matter to you. Obviously, only you can answer that. But if you want Trippier, you've got to pay attention to these things, yeah. I think Eze's okay to hold. Like, would I rather have Foden than Eze this week? Probably, but longer term, I think Eze is good still. Doesn't have to play well to get a penalty, you know? Rashford or Salah for Bruno or Mbermo or Odegaard. That's basically to get cash for either Gabriel or Kabori to chill, or then maybe a hit for Jackson and for Pedro. I don't think you need to do a hit for Pedro. I mean, Salah to Bruno. I think if you're trying to free up money, Salah's probably got to be the one to go, because longer term that's going to help you by having more to spend. Start Gabriel Pinnock. I'd probably start Pinnock. I have 2 free transfers and 2 million in the bank. Should I get rid of Gabriel and Madison? I already answered that one, I think. I mean, yes, you should get rid of one. Probably Gabriel for Chilwell or something like that. If you want Madison long term, I'd just hold on to him. For telling me to start Udogie instead of -4ing last week. Thanks. Did I tell you to start Udogie against Man United? That doesn't sound like me. Maybe you were in a scenario where that made sense. Sell Botman and Martinelli to Chilwell and Matoma. You're going to want Botman soon, by the way, I think. Or could sell Botman and Rashford to Chilwell and Foden. I mean, Martinelli and Botman to Chilwell and Matoma is better for the next few weeks, but you are probably going to want Botman soon. So if you could sell someone else, that would make sense. James Jackson gifted 1 membership. Thank you very much. I really need to sort out that second account. I'm going to be saying that for weeks. I'm going to be saying I need to set up that second account so I can do... gifted things, and I still won't have done it. I can just tell. By the way, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Much appreciated. We're on to 371k now. I want to hit 375k before the international break, and then we push for 400, and then we push for 500,000. Like 500,000. What a ring to it that has. Sorry, I've cleared my throat. That's annoying. And now I've pointed it out, so it's even worse. Kane, thank you. Giazzo, start Pedro Augusto. Pedro, James Jackson, member for 12 months. Would you captain Jackson if you owned him? I probably am going to own Jackson by the end of the stream, but no, I definitely would not captain him ahead of Haaland. Sorry, I muted the mic that time. Evra, thank you very much. Tommy, 2 free transfers. Swap Pickford or Colwill. Martinelli to Foden. Martinelli to Foden's like okay, but I think Martinelli could be great this week. Swap Pickford or Colwill. I guess Pickford in that situation. Watkins or Jackson. I'm going to say Jackson. With their upcoming 5 to 6 fixtures, do you think we should invest in Chelsea and Spurs midfield or stick with Brighton, Brentford, Arsenal, Man United? I think this week you can stick for sure. Shout out to the OGs who remember the road to 50k subs. Long time ago now. Mad, really. Absolutely mad. I thought the growth was going to slow down, but it's looking pretty good this year. Like, maybe not quite as good as previous years, but it didn't slow down as much as I thought. Matus, thank you very much. Nikhil, Pedro to Jackson or Archer to Jackson have a benching headache. I mean... Archer to Jackson, I guess, but I think for a lot of people, it's not the benching headache's not really what I would worry about. Okay, it's annoying when players get points on your bench, but it doesn't really matter. I would say for most FPL managers, they struggle to play with money kind of spread out like that because I guess there's not that many players that are expensive this year, so maybe it doesn't matter, but it just leaves you a little bit slightly more inflexible in terms of getting onto a more expensive player later on. You might have to make 2 moves instead of 1. That's the only thing I would think about. So just think of your future moves, I guess, is the riding point. Dennis, thank you. Ishan, Chilwell, Gusto, Estepinio, Henry, Saka, MR. Who's MR? Mitoma. Marcus Rashford, Matoma, and Burmo, Haaland, Watkins, question mark. I don't know what the question is, but yes, why not? What to do about Luke Shaw? I've got Saliba and Estepinian. City defender, probably. Unless you've got a good team this week, in which case you could just bench Shaw. Start Eze or João Pedro? I think we had this question earlier. I think I said João Pedro, but I wasn't completely happy about it. I'm still not really sure. I think João Pedro will start, though, so I'd probably take the home fixture and the better team. But there's not really much in it. All I'll say about João Pedro is, for anyone that owns him, Enciso being out definitely improves his minutes, but it does not make him a guaranteed starter, right? So if you're in any doubt, go for the other player or transfer João Pedro out, whatever it is. If you're happy to take that risk, then obviously just go with it. But yeah, I suspect he probably will start this week, but I couldn't guarantee it. Couldn't guarantee it. The poll says 65% for Jackson, 35% for Alvarez. Oof. Differential Alvarez. Would you play Madison or Nketiah? I would... Oh, that's a good question. I don't think Jesus will start, so I'll say Nketiah. I think Jesus will come off the bench. But again, that could be wrong. I feel like we got three types of players these days. We got completely not risky. That's a bad way of wording it. Completely not risky whatsoever. I.e., you're pretty sure every single week they're going to start. Then you got players that mostly going to start but slight risk, and then you got proper risks, right? So I would say Nketiah this week is probably a slight risk, like João Pedro. But I think it's more likely they both start. Anana and Baldock for Flecken and Udogi. I would say yes if you're having to play Baldock. If he's just on your bench, it's not really worth it, I don't think. Just play Anana. Bench one of Estupinian and Saliba or Kanji. Probably a Kanji. I've got I feel like people are asking the same questions or putting the same question back in. I have Estupinian on the bench. Should I remove Gabriel, Mitoma, and Burmo? I would play Estupinian ahead of Gabriel 100%. Because Gabriel's not guaranteed to start. And Estupinian is. And as De Zerbi said today, he plays as a striker sometimes. Somehow I see a lot more risk in Marseille's minutes than Foden's. I mean, you might be right. You might be right for this week, because at some point Trossard's probably going to get a start. So, you know, and unless Doku's ready to go straight away, there's not that huge amount of competition at City. I guess Bernardo Silva's back. Yeah, you could be right. I mean, you don't need to tell me that Martinelli is not completely nailed on. I've been saying that in pre-season and getting slaughtered for it. But again, it's not a move I'm going to make, even though you keep trying to make me do it. Thoughts on Rashford only holding this week due to Forest fixture? Yep, sounds good to me. If Højlund comes in and Rashford goes to the wing, that would be great. It would be, but Højlund's not ready for Game Week 3. So the hope we have now is that Martial or Sancho will start, and I'm not completely convinced that's going to happen. So I think we're going to see Rashford number 9 against Nottingham Forest, and it's probably going to go badly. All that being said, I can't sell him. Just can't sell him. Let's just hope that Sancho or Martial comes in. I don't even know if Martial's fit. I mean, even if he is fit, I don't know if he'll be fit by tomorrow. No team news. Trust me, if there's team news, you'll hear about it super quick. But no, I've not seen anything so far. But I promise, if I see something on Twitter, it's coming your way. Anana to Flecken versus Watkins to Alvarez versus burn the transfer. Don't burn the transfer. Get ahead of your moves. Do Watkins, I would say. I mean, unless you don't want to keep Anana long term. Feels a bit knee-jerky to be taking him out. I think taking Anana out is worse than taking Pickford out, to be honest with you. At what point am I looking to get Salah? Possibly game week 9. Liverpool got some nice fixtures then, but probably not before then. I don't think. 2 free transfers. Midfielders, Bruno, Rashford, Saka, Martinelli, Foden. Keep or sell anyone to get Mbeumo. I'd probably just keep them all. Forwards, Pedro to Wissa or Jackson. Defenders, -4. Estupinian, Chilwell, Gabriel, James, Kabori. James or Gab to Vardiol or Gusto. Honestly, I think I'd go to Gusto. I wouldn't take a -4 though. You can just play Estupinian, Chilwell, and Gabriel, I guess. Do you know what? I would not move any of your midfielders or forwards and just do Gabriel out for Gusto, I think. Can you not do James to Diaz? Or have you not got enough money? If you've got enough money, I'd do James to Diaz. Otherwise, Gabriel to Gusto. Sub and like. It's free. Exactly. It's completely free. Make sure to give me a subscribe there. Hit that like button. We're on 371,139 now. Much appreciated. Salah and Mubama to Jackson and Wissa and Foden. To Jackson / Wissa and Foden, or just do Gabriel to Udogi and play João Pedro and roll. I'd probably do the second one and roll. But do you know what? I don't hate that Jackson move, but I'd probably do the second one, I think. I have to bench one of Salah, Fernandes, Rashford, Wissa or Foden, Jackson or Alvarez. Wissa, I think. Like, I think there's going to be people that are going to have heard me say to bench Wissa so many times. They're thinking, why? He's great. He is good, right? He's a really good pick. And most people do not need to... most people do not need to bench him. But there's some people with seemingly ridiculous squads where maybe you should bench him. But for most people, you do not need to bench him. I think JP won't start. Mo to Foden, JP to Jackson. If you really don't think he starts and you want to redistribute the funds, then yeah, no problem with that at all. Start João Pedro or Jackson if you don't have Matoma. I would start Jackson for the guaranteed start, whether or not you got Matoma. Doesn't really matter. Holding Watkins for one more week. If Jesus is back next week, would you go to him or Jackson? I'd probably see what happens. I'd probably see what happens this week in terms of minutes. Does Jesus look fit? Does he get another knock? Does Jackson start actually putting some of those chances away? Like all these things I would look at. So yeah, I guess answer next week. I mean, right now I'd say I'd probably still go Jackson, but there's nothing wrong with going Jesus. The early bird may catch the worm, but it's the second mouse who gets the cheese. So true. So true. So deep. So deep. Keep up the good work. Why have you said that, by the way? Keep up the good work and good luck this week. Thank you very much. You too. Where did that come? I feel like you've said that because of something I've said, and I'm not sure what it is. Gabriel to Udogie, Pedro to Jackson, or both for a -4. I'll just do Gabriel to Udogie, I think. This is going to be one of those annoying weeks, I can tell you already, because people are going to sell Gabriel because they don't think he's starting. They're going to play João Pedro. And João Pedro is going to end up being benched, and Gabriel will start, because that is just FPL in a nutshell. It was deep. So deep. It got me thinking. They're right. The second mouse does get the cheese, right? Because the first mouse gets caught by the trap. Nightmare for the first mouse. You gotta think about these things. I already have Chilwell and I want to sell Gabriel. Should I buy a Kanji or Saliba? I mean, honestly, for the next 4 weeks, I'd probably rather have Saliba if he starts every game. Is he going to start every game? Guess what? I've got no idea. But I think he'll be good for the next two because Stones is out. And Stones, who knows? Maybe he's not back straight away. So I'll say, if you're feeling like going a bit more puntier with the minutes, go for a Kanji. If not, just get Saliba. But I don't think Saliba's necessarily... The thing is with Saliba, in Game Week 4 he's got Man United at home. In Game Week 6 is Spurs at home. I don't think either of those are great for a clean sheet necessarily. Should I do James to Henry for second free transfer? Henry will be on the bench. No. Just hold and roll, I'd say. Pedro and Pickford to Sanchez and Jackson, 2 free transfers worth it. I would just do one of them, probably not the goalkeeper one, I would say. Bench one, Saka, Martinelli, and Burmo, Richarlison, Foden. Probably Richarlison, but again, wouldn't be happy about it. One of those tough decisions. Martinelli or Burmo paired with Gusto, Carwell, or Diaz. I'm gonna say Burmo. I think the money will come in handy for a lot of people. Does Maddison start tomorrow? If I had to put money on it, I would probably say yes, but again, there's a little bit of a risk with it. I got Colwell, but all my others got good games. I don't know what that's referring to, lazy parkour, to be honest. But it's fine if you have to bench good players. Sometimes it happens, right? I mean, look, I'm benching Cameron Archer this week, you know. Pickford to Edison or Richarlison to Foden. I'd probably go Richarlison to Foden. Like, I don't mind Pickford to Edison, but you've got to be sure you're going to be happy with that move and the fact that there's an extra million sat on your goalkeeper spot. And if you are, Edison's great, but I'd probably go Richarlison to Foden. What I will say is, though, for a lot of people that want to hold on to Richarlison, nothing wrong with that with the fixture they've got. It's interesting, though, how quickly the Richarlison chat has changed. I mean, he hasn't been fantastic the first 2 games, but, like, in pre-season, just when the Kane news hit, it was like a mad rush to get Richarlison. We had to start taking out all these good players to get him in, and now it's like, do we even keep him for Bournemouth away? Yeah, Bournemouth away. I'll probably keep him in for most people. So nobody talking goalkeeper transfers. I feel like lots of people have talked about goalkeeper transfers. Same team as you, except since game week 1, Watkins is Alvarez, Martinelli is Odegaard. All right, show off. And Burmo is Matoma. All right, not quite then. 2 free transfers, 1.5 in the bank. Pickford to Sanchez or Matoma for Foden, or tell me something else. Yeah, Pickford to Sanchez is fine. I think Matoma is perfectly fine to hold on to. So it depends whether you want to go for that kind of, I guess, double risk with Alvarez and Foden, because I just can't imagine long term they're both nailed, but I could be wrong. So I guess in that case you could go Pickford for Sanchez because your midfield is pretty damn good. Like there's no need to be selling Matoma this week, that's for sure. Like if you want Foden longer term, then fine, go for it. But Matoma is certainly not a must sell before West Ham at home. Bench one of Enzo, Richarlison or Alvarez. I think I would bench Enzo. I know he's probably still on penalties, but I think I would bench him. Just because he's probably not going to play in a massively attacking role. I mean, he does look to be getting further forward than last year, but still, I'm not sure you could play him over Richarlison, number 9 against Bournemouth away. 2 free transfers, Richarlison to Sterling. I don't mind it, but again, like I've just spoken a lot about Richarlison. You don't have to sell him. Mark gifted 1 Let's Talk FPL membership. Thank you very much. I didn't say what type of memberships I was going to gift, did I? I could go bottom tier. Can you choose? You must be able to choose, right? AJ, thank you very much. In fact, I might just do that. Now I can give more away. On wildcard, do you think it makes sense to sell Estepinian and hope he doesn't haul against West Ham? Fixture run is pretty bad. Yeah, Estepinian's not a must to hold on to. I don't know, he's one of those players that could easily make you regret it, but I kind of get the thinking, right? Newcastle at home, Man United away, that both of those teams will probably score. West Ham could score. So suddenly the amount of clean sheets over the next kind of 6-7 games doesn't look great. Like if we look at Estepinian, how many games do we think they're going to get a clean sheet in? I think West Ham's a possibility. Bournemouth, that's probably it up until Fulham at home. I think Man City, Liverpool, and probably Villa all score. I even think Man United will score, despite what everyone thinks of them right now. And Newcastle's always going to be tough. So I think there's 2 clean sheets in the next 7 games. So yeah, it's probably you could probably get away with it. You just have to hope the attacking returns dry up a little bit, and he is stupidly attacking, as we know. That's the problem, like with someone like him, when you don't have him, is he could get a clean sheet against West Ham and then get no clean sheets in the next 2. But if he returns 1 attacking return against Newcastle or Man United, 2 returns then in 3 games, that suddenly looks pretty good. And then you got Bournemouth at home. So I don't know. I can understand why you'd want to drop Estepinian on wildcard, and I think it's okay. I think it's an okay decision. Watkins to Jackson with the second free transfer or roll. I'd probably roll. I can't bring myself to get rid of Watkins. Don't get rid of him then. Like, he's definitely not a must sell. Like, I've said this a million times this week. You don't have to sell Watkins. Honestly, if you can't bring yourself to get rid of Watkins, keep him. If it's going to make you happier. Look, it's going to go one way or the other, right? We all know what's going to happen. Jackson's going to smash some goals tonight, and then everyone's going to wish they just got rid of Watkins, or Jackson's going to blank, and then suddenly there'll be celebrations that people have still got Watkins to come against Burnley of all teams, right? I just wanted to tell you that your vice captain is Rashford. I would choose Martinelli if I have him. Yeah, it was actually on Saka until Odegaard took a penalty. I might put it back to Saka. I don't know. I don't know. It probably doesn't matter. Like, Haaland's going to start anyway, I suppose. It's not really the way you should think about it, but I would choose Martinelli if I had him. I don't know. That's probably the last midfielder I would pick out of those 5, I think. What's wrong with you? Are you dodging goalkeeper transfers to keep up Salah in the future? Nope. Just because I want to go for Watkins out instead. I mean, there is part of me that's thinking last year I was burnt by bringing in an expensive goalkeeper, which I very rarely do. So now I'm thinking, do I also go against one of the rules, which is don't use transfers on goalkeepers? Which obviously, you know, you shouldn't have set rules. You can change your mind, yada, 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 of course. But Pickford, Wolves at home, Sheffield United away. Like, forget what's happened in the first 2 weeks. Okay, hang on. Do you know what? We'll put this to a poll. We'll put this to a poll. I know what's coming anyway. No, it's home, isn't it? Oh, yeah. All right, let's answer that poll a sec. Bench 1, Saliba, Estepinian or Henry? Probably Henry. Sterling, Alvarez or Foden and Jackson? Foden and Jackson. Sell Pickford or keep my free transfer? Keep your free transfer. 2 free transfer, no issues in my team. Can't decide to do Maddison for Foden or burn the transfer. I wouldn't burn it. I would make that move if you think you could do well. Eze or JP? I think I said JP, but it's quite close. I mean, I think Eze is the safer option. I'll just leave it on that. For anyone that's thinking about Eze or JP, João Pedro, I would say Eze is probably the safer option because you know he's going to start. You can't say the same about João Pedro. So that I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't think I can really say much more. I guess that's it, right? If they both start, I'd probably go for João Pedro. But if you want the safer pick who's guaranteed a start, it's Eze. That's all there is to it, really. Have you ever not used a transfer? We talked about this earlier. I don't think so. I don't think I've ever done that. Can Pickford get... The thing is, there's probably a lot of people in the chat with Pickford, so they're a bit biased with their answer, I'd say. But can he get one clean sheet against Wolves at home or Sheffield United away? Just one. Not even asking for two. Can he get one? Because if you think he can get one, then you should probably keep him. Right? I mean, there probably will be loads of goalkeepers out there that get 2 clean sheets next 2 game weeks, but it's hard to know exactly who that will be. It might be Sanchez. Team News and Tick said he won't have any news tonight. Oof. We're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way, guessing. Yeah, I don't know anyone Chelsea related. Am I up for a Streamy award? I don't think so. I think I got emails about that, but you got to apply and like I think you got to like enter yourself for these things. I just didn't bother. I did get emailed about something like that, and also isn't it's like a big like American award. How the hell would I get voted for that? 3 options. Flecken. Have I just knocked the mic out? No. 3 options. Flecken and Shaw to Edison and Udogie. Shaw to Ruben or Shaw to Udogie. The rest of my team is the same as you. I mean, without thinking about your future moves, I would go Shaw to Ruben Diaz. I think that sounds okay. As long as it's not going to block you doing any other moves. It's like the football content awards are up again now. I just don't know if I can be bothered doing all the kind of, oh, please vote for me, please vote for me. Maybe. I haven't met. Well, that's the first time I've mentioned it. I haven't tweeted it or anything so far. Should I take a -4 if I have James and Gabriel in my defence? If you're having to, I'd be tempted to start Gabriel and hope. I mean, here's the thing, right? Let's say Gabriel is bench and he comes on for a 1-pointer. The player you bring in's got to score 5 points or more. So in that case, I'd maybe just take the risk that Gabriel might start. I'd probably start Udogie over Gabriel, yeah. Start João Pedro or Udogie. João Pedro, I think. I've just sold Gabriel. I know he's going to start and score. Oh, I hope that doesn't happen. There's been enough pain with Gabriel. Honestly, I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks, Saliba just gets sold by everyone. Gabriel does whatever, and we're not worrying about this anymore. So I put a bet on him scoring to ease the pain. Sound logic. Lots of people do that, to be honest. Am I going on Fantasy 606 this season? Not sure. Not sure. Speaking about Foden, what do you want to know? I think at this point you must know all I have to say on Foden, honestly. I feel like I've done nothing but talk about him this week. Let's be honest, you're going with Jackson, you made your mind up. Yeah, I've said multiple times in this stream, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to go with Jackson. Let some of the smaller guys who win be nominated and let them get some clout. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a thing, I guess. But then you're going to really let Az win again. Like, no one wants Az to win 3 times in a row, do they? Can't be having that. Probably will win again. They've done the double. They've got the brace. Now they're going for the hat-trick. So maybe I should go all out just to stop Az. Probably still wouldn't win. Jackson in, done. Going for a pint. Nice. Do I not like Az? I do, of course I like. If I didn't like Az, I wouldn't have just said that. I would not have just said that. Sabotage him. It's not like I can. It's not like someone can just decide to win. But I can at least ask for some votes. As Alkmaar. Sorry, getting sidetracked now. How long? Because they've got 41 minutes left. Jackson went up 0.1 million. He did, yeah, but I'd rather just wait. Is it a bad idea to keep Stones if you're happy to play your bench and want him in the future? It's not, but there's no guarantee he'll be back for Game Week 5, obviously. That's the only thing I would say. But if you've got a good bench, there's no rush to get rid of him. You can make the move next week if you wanted to. Enzo or João Pedro? João Pedro, I would say. 2 free transfers, punt on Odegaard, Sterling, Bruno for Salah. Thoughts? I mean, the only one that's really a punt there is Sterling. The one that I would probably buy is Bruno, I think. Do I prefer the Friday or Saturday for streaming? For streaming, I guess Friday, right? Because then you get Saturday off. But for like final thoughts and stuff, I much prefer doing final thoughts after the press conferences. And obviously I can't do that at the moment because if I wait till the press conference is done, the video will be out like an hour before the deadline, so it's just pointless. Locked in transfers of Onana to Edison and Trent to Romero. Interesting. Spurs and City with great upcoming fixtures. Thoughts? It's done now. Thoughts are it's done. Let's see what happens. I'm not sure I would have gone for Romero, but obviously they get loads of clean sheets. Happy days. Are you changing Pickford after the next two? Probably not. I think if I don't get rid of Pickford this week, he's probably in my team until Game Week 8 or 9, at least. And at that point, there'll probably be way more interesting things to do, and he'll just stay. I love how you started the trend for deadline streams. Now all the popular channels have 5k and more watching. It's like you're indirectly creating an entertainment and jobs for the economy. I'm not sure that is how it works, but yeah, deadline stream's super popular these days. Everyone's does deadline stream. You just said you were happy to wait to put Jackson in. Wait for what? Well, he's already gone up last night. Happy for more information, right? Probability of Jesus starting, I would say quite low, to be honest. I think he gets minutes off the bench and he starts versus Man United. That's my bet. That's my prediction. Diaz, Vardy, Udogi, or Rico Henry. Pick one. Diaz. Should I prioritise rolling a transfer? I'm thinking about Watkins. I mean, look, most people would say roll a transfer is better, but if you're absolutely sure that Jackson is a better pick than Watkins and you're just going to make that move next week anyway, there's no harm in making it this week, trying to pick some extra points up, and then just maybe roll your transfer, you just use one next week. Nothing wrong with that. Like, Watkins to Jackson and Gabriel to Diaz is fine. But you probably don't need to make both, is all I'd say. But it is fine to use 2 transfers. At some point, we're all going to use... Like, at some point this season, if you've got 2 free transfers, you're going to use them both in 1 week, right? It's going to happen. Chilwell captain. I'm definitely not going to captain Chilwell, but I am thinking about captaining him in Sky. So for Sky, you get a captain every day. And so, obviously, today is Chelsea versus Luton. So my options are Nakamba, definitely not going to be him, Enzo Fernandez or Chilwell in one team. In the other team, it's Enzo and Thiago Silva. Right now I'm on Enzo Fernandez, but I'm thinking about going for Chilwell. But not in FPL. But I get it. I get it. I guess the argument is trying to get a 0.1 price rise on Watkins, then go for Jackson. No, I'm just going to do it now. When you become a full-time FPL content creator, what did you do before? Like 2-3 years ago now. A surprising amount of people mentioning Chilwell captain. It kind of makes sense, right? I think there's a good chance of a clean sheet. He's probably going to play left wing. He could absolutely get an attacking return. Like, could we see Chilwell get 12, 15 points tonight? Absolutely. Of course, he could just blank, but that is FPL, right? You make a bet and you hope it comes out correct. What do you think about Doku's price reveal? I mean, you know what? They thought, do you know what we need? We need another cheap player in FPL. Plays for Man City. What could possibly go wrong? He could get a run of games for Man City, and for 6.5 million could just be incredible. I don't know. Like, the thing is, it makes sense given the other prices, but none of the prices really make sense overall, I would say. How do you deal with the issue of price rise? Now I'm gutted that Jackson increased, and in myself, I'm kind of annoyed to pay a high price, but you seem cool about it. Yeah, I mean, like, what's the point in getting worked up about it? One, but also, what if in like 20 minutes we get news that Jackson isn't starting? Well, then I'm very happy I didn't go for him. The only thing I haven't thought about is if Jackson doesn't start, and he will, by the way, I'm pretty sure. What do I do then? Do I go to Alvarez or do I go Pickford to Sanchez? I guess I go Alvarez. But yeah, I just think the info is more important, right? Because if, like, let's say today Arteta had said Martinelli's a doubt, then I would do Martinelli to Foden, and I would just hold on to Watkins. So that is worth 0.1 million to me. Like, you can go back and forth on whether early transfers are worth it. Like, if you make an early transfer and then you bank a load of money and no one gets injured, then suddenly the early transfer looks great. But then people might have sold Maddison this week. They might have made a bunch of transfers and then suddenly Luke Shaw is injured in their team. You know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and I just prefer to wait until Friday if I can. And also, I do think money will be less important this year. I mean, if Salah goes to Saudi Arabia, that's FPL just dead, basically, because you can afford pretty much anyone. I will be able to afford Edison after I sell after I get Jackson in, but I won't make that double move now. You're 230 in the world on Sky. Very nice. I'm nowhere near that. Why you not consider Evan Ferguson? He hasn't even started the last 2 games. I know he's going to start tomorrow because De Zerbi told us, but it doesn't mean he's going to start after that. Pickford and Sanchez to Shaw and Pickford and Sanchez to Shaw and Diaz/Vardiol. Could just move Shaw and keep Pickford to save a transfer. Yeah, that sounds better to me. I'd rather go for Diaz and not save the money. Bench one out of Maddison, Henry or Gabriel. Do I start Gusto versus Luton or Gabriel versus Fulham? I'd probably start Gusto for the hopefully guaranteed start. It's going to be interesting if Gusto doesn't start. Maybe Pochettino will change things up. Chilwell left back. Colwell left centre back. Thiago Silva right centre back. Dizazi right back. Who knows? Probably not going to happen for what it's worth. Tom, thank you. Brian, brought in Jackson and Udogie early. Should I take a hit to sell Martinez for Vardiol and bench Udogie? No. Just play Udogie. Bench Ruben, Eshipinian, Mbermo, Saliba, Saka, Bruno, Rashford. Out of those, I'd probably bench Ruben. Well, Ruben Diaz is probably much more likely to get you a clean sheet than Eshipinian, but I cannot bench attacking defenders. So I'm going to say bench Ruben Diaz. I'm telling you, most people would say bench Eshipinian. So the latest poll, can Pickford get 1 clean sheet? 55% say yes. Got to keep him. Saka to Foden or Sterling? Saka is not on penalties. I mean, Saka might take the next penalty. We don't know that for sure. I'd go Foden out of those 2. Member for 9 months, thank you very much. Take a hit for Rashford to Foden or Watkins to Jackson. If not, who to bench? Watkins, Jota, João Pedro. I mean, you can't bench Watkins because he's guaranteed to start. I'd bench one of Jota or João Pedro. One of them's on penalties, one isn't. Newcastle away. I'd probably bench Jota. I wouldn't be happy about it, though, at all. What do I think about SGP next 2 games? I think he's good this week. Next week, maybe less so. But I'll still play him for Nita. I mean, there's a chance at some point that the FPL newsletter has just tweeted Nicholas Jackson starts. Okay, can safely bring him in now. I'll put that in the ticker. Nicholas Jackson starts. So the FPL newsletter. I don't think that's their. Hang on, what is their thing? Lazy FPL on Twitter. They've had news before. They had news for Man City, I think, in game week 1, so it should be pretty good. Play Maddison or João Pedro. I'd probably go for the penalties and the non-injured player, I think. So that sounds like... that doesn't sound how I meant it to come out, but obviously there is a bit of a doubt with Maddison. I guess there's a doubt on Pedro as well, but I think I'd go João Pedro. Transfer in Foden for Martinelli or roll? Transfer in Foden for Martinelli or roll? I'd roll. Glenn, new member, thank you very much. It's going to be interesting to see now whether they say like Gusto is benched or something like that. And we all kind of knew Nicholas Jackson was going to start anyway, right? Alvarez is more interesting, but most people don't have team news before Sunday games. It'll be interesting to see who else starts. Who else are they going to leak? Who else is interesting? Chilwell, I suppose, just to be sure. How long we got left? We still got 31 minutes left, honestly. We feel like we're way ahead of schedule on the questions and that. Watkins and Onana to Jackson and Edison. United injuries have me worried. I mean, I probably would just do the Watkins move, but you could do both, yeah. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, Edison kind of set and forget then, isn't he? The fixtures are great. They're going to keep a bunch of clean sheets. I hope they don't, because I haven't got any of their defenders, but they probably will. Chilwell starts. According to Lazy FPL on Twitter. Let's see how much... Is Jackson really worth it for possibly... worth it for the 3, possibly 4 game weeks you own him? By then, Isak's fixtures look great. Yeah, if you think you're going to get rid of him soon, then do it. But I don't think I'm going to do Jackson to Isak necessarily, so I'm happy to just go for it for the fixtures. Plus, I need to make a transfer. That's all there is to it. If I had one transfer, I'd be rolling this week, almost certainly. Not definitely, but almost certainly. Captain Chilwell locked in. That's the other good thing about Sky. You can just wait to see the team sheet. Lampard doesn't start. Joe, Watkins and Onana to Jackson and Edison. Oh, no, I did that one. Tom, member for 30 months. Thank you very much. Watkins to Haaland for a hit. I thought you weren't going with Haaland. Thoughts on Chilwell captain? Yeah, Chilwell is fine as a punt, but I would just do Watkins to Haaland for a hit and captain him. But yeah, I think you've got to have Haaland for Sheffield United away, but I thought you were going without him. Not sure if I should trust Data for 2 game weeks to choose Foden over Martinelli. Alex, you really want Foden, just go for him. Go for him. I did start 2 hours before the deadline, yeah. Andreas, thank you very much. Muchos appreciated. I just saw Brighton team sheet, but it was it's like for an under 21 game or something. Oh, Premier League 2 game. You can't sign into FPL. You got 29 minutes and 40 seconds to figure it out. KP, new member, thank you very much. Cameron Dawes, Martinelli to Odegaard, hold Watkins. I mean, if you've got 2 free transfers and nothing else to do, you could make that move. I did consider that. I don't know, if Saka takes the next penalty, I probably wish I didn't do that move. Shaw to Chilwell for -4 helps for later weeks. I don't mind if you got a bad, if you don't have 3 good defenders this week. Watkins and Shaw to Gusto and Jackson, or roll Watkins. I'd probably roll, but again, if you're going to do it next week anyway, and you're absolutely sure you want Jackson, you could do it this week. Your doggy on the bench feels bad, but not sure I can. Honestly, lots of people seem to be having this massive dilemma about whether or not to bench Udoggy, and I haven't given it. I've almost given it 0 thought. I looked at my team and thought I've got Chilwell, Eshapinian, and Saliba with home games, good home games for the most part. So therefore, Udoggy's on my bench. I don't know. Is it that big of a deal? Maybe people have got closer calls than me, but I feel like, yeah, it's just the obvious thing is to bench him. And like, having a good bench is good, right? People are starting to bring him in, so hopefully I can make some money on him. And next week I'll probably play him. And game week 5, I'll definitely play him against Sheffield United at home. That was always the plan. Always. The Richarlison pre-bandwagon. Yeah. I mean, I hope he scores for you. Still have Reece James and Gabriel, 2 free transfers. Reece James to Diaz and roll, or get rid of both this week. If Gabriel's benchable, I would just make 1 transfer, to be honest. Just leave it at that. Pickford to Sanchez or roll. I'd probably roll. JP to Jackson. Don't get Jackson FOMO now. Isak or Alvarez. Udogo on your bench versus Bournemouth is a big mistake. Yeah, maybe, but I don't like. You can only make decisions that you're happy with, and I think my decision to hold my midfield, bench Udogi, is perfectly reasonable. If it goes wrong, if all my defenders concede and Udogi gets a 12 point, of course it'll be annoying, but it's the right decision to go with what I'm doing, I think. Madis. Oh. Whoa. Alex. Odegaard to Mberma or roll the transfer? Definite roll. Jeffrey, member 4 months. If Mudryk, hampering Chilwell is predicted, should plans for Onana or Turner to Sanchez be viable? I would just keep Onana. I get it, right? Man United not playing well, but I don't think there's any need to take Onana out. And I don't think Mudryk should make any difference to you, really. It might be the right decision, but saying Udogi is really fun. I'm glad people have accepted that, how that's being said now. Can't wait to be a 24-month member. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Soon-ish. I can't remember what you're on, actually. I don't know if it tells me in the back end. Mudryk's only injured for this game, by the way. Madison and Gabriel on my start 11. 1 free transfer. Who do I prioritise transferring out or keep both and transfer Kabori to Gusto on my bench? I'd probably prioritise Gabriel over Madison, I think. Because Madison's only a fitness thing. Gabriel's a tactical thing, right? So I'd be tempted to... I'd transfer if you can sell him for someone good. If not, you could just do Kabori to Gusto and bench Gabriel. Or just play him if you think he starts. Any chance Rico Lewis starts? I would say unlikely. I definitely would not bench Matoma for Rico Lewis. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't do it. Madison's available right now, so we'll have to see. Bench Madison or Mbermo? Definitely Madison. Bench Lieber or Gusto? I would bench Gusto. MMA Alien, thank you very much. Thoughts on triple captain Haaland? I'd probably save it for a double game week, but if you're going to do it in a single game week, this is the kind of fixtures to do it in. Start Gabriel or Madison? Probably Madison. See if we've got any other news. They're sure they're obviously just waiting to just kind of drip feed it a bit, but I suspect they're gonna tell us that Gusto starts soon. I suspect that's happening. We don't know, but I suspect because we got 24 minutes, they're gonna put some more information out soon. Play Doggy or hope for Gabriel to start? I would just play Doggy. Best replacement for Mudryk 6.4. I fancy Rice. I would go Eze, I think. Why aren't you starting Udogie over Saliba? You mentioned you'd rather play attacking defenders. Well, yeah, but it still depends on the fixture, right? Like if Estepinian had Man City away, I wouldn't play him over Udogie. Confirming Chilwell starts is barely a leak. Yeah, true. I guess Jackson's the same, to be honest. So I'd imagine Gusto will be next. Yeah. I mean, it's still nice to have it confirmed, though, right? But yeah, I think most of us could have predicted Chilwell and Jackson to start. I'm so confused. Your midfield 5 on a wild card. Oh, I've not given it enough thought, but probably Saka, Mbermo, Fernandes, probably Rashford still, and then Foden maybe. Why do people not just pick who they want? It's hit or miss who picks up points. Nobody's 100% nailed, but that's not true though, is it? I mean, there are players that are pretty much 100% nailed, right? Mark is sending me pictures of the YouTube thing. Yeah. So I can't. If you're showing me how to give memberships, I know how to do it, but I can't do it because it's my stream. I've got to set up a separate account, which I will do at some point. I just haven't done it yet. Oh, I can do it. Why can I do it now? Oh, I can do it. Interesting. Do I get an invoice for it? I need an invoice for it. Why couldn't I do that last week? I need to choose this account. Let me see if this works now. Let me see. Oh, there you go. Gifted 10 memberships. Happy days. It should just automatically add it to people now. Yeah, you can't choose. You can't choose who you give them to. Entertainment expenses. Boom, exactly. Why not? Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm glad I can do that now. I'm basically going to start doing it based on... Oh, I just realised, though. Hang on a second. Oh, you can't choose... You can't choose... Oh, okay, you have to go for the pro route. You can't choose if you want to go for lower. I'll probably start giving them away based on certain stuff. Like if... I don't know. If Foden outscores in Burma, we've already done that one. I don't know. If my captain does really well, or Jackson outscores Alvarez, I don't know. We'll start doing it on future streams. But I'll definitely be giving a few away. That's for sure. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Let me just check something a sec. YouTube receipt. Happy days. So how many so hang on a second. Oh, I know why now. I think I know why I couldn't do it last week. So if Foden outscores in Burma, it's going to cost me 100 quid, basically. So I can't do 40. It's 1, 5, 10, 20, or 50. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, loads more questions are coming in. We've only got 20 minutes left. I'm never going to get to them all. Start Gabriel, Gusto. Can I put in Mitoma and Burmo both to start? Yes. Gabriel to Saliba from -4. My bench is weak. If it's that weak, you could do it. But if you've got anyone that's going to play and might get a clean sheet, I just play them instead. Estupinian, Gusto. Alex Hager, hello. How's it going? Estupinian, I would say. Start Colwill or Gabriel. I'd probably start Colwill, I think. Botman or Gabriel. For this week, Gabriel. Wan-Bissaka in a 4-4-2 or João Pedro. João Pedro ahead of him for sure. Shaw to Chilwell, Watkins to Jackson. Shaw to Chilwell, Watkins to Jackson. Or drop Rashford or Fernandes for someone to get Chilwell. No, that looks pretty good to me, to be honest. Honestly, Murray, thank you very much. Have 2 free transfers, nothing to do. I'm thinking Onana to Sanchez or Flecken. Scared to block a third Chelsea spot. Have Jackson and Chilwell. Go Flecken them. I mean, I guess be realistic about who you might want to bring in. Like you might want Reece James at some point, but otherwise it's like Gusto, Sterling. How likely do you think you are to want them? The thing is, Sterling's not being talked about much now, but if he smashes it tonight, everyone will want him for next week, right? Foden or Walker, Foden for sure. I've currently got Madison and Udogie bench. Would you start them over any of these? Estupinian, Gabriel, Gusto, Martin. I would probably play Madison ahead of Gabriel, I think. Did João Pedro to Wissa going under the radar maybe? A little bit. And Gabriel to Ruben Diaz. Aside from that, we have the exact same team. Thoughts on the transfers? Sound pretty good to me. I mean, obviously, if João Pedro starts and gets a penalty, that might be frustrating, but Wissa's an alright pick. Just have to hope he stays nailed on. Sell one of Rashford or Bruno for Sterling this week. I probably wouldn't, personally. Thanks for the stream. Have Shaw and Salah, 0 in the bank, 1 transfer. Diaz, Chilwell, and Sterling Foden from -4, or just do 1. I'd probably just do 1, to be honest. Like, if you can keep Salah and do Shaw to Diaz, that sounds alright to me. Jacob, 6.7 million in the bank. Madness. Need a forward, Alvarez or Wissa or someone else. I'd probably go Alvarez for that much money. I think. I'd love to show. Please bench one for me. Foden, Fernandes, Jota. I think it's got to be Jota or Madison, I think. I'd say... I mean, Jota or Madison, I don't know if either's going to start, so flick a coin. One of those two for sure. That's really weird. I thought I just heard something from my phone. Maybe it's from outside. Top 5 players to bring in today. Oh, I don't know. Haaland, Chilwell. There, I'll give you 2. In Burmo. Foden, maybe. God, I'd love it if Foden's benched. He's not getting benched, but I'd absolutely love it. I would absolutely love it. I promise not to gloat about it. I think he's going to start anyway. I think he's going to start. So where's the next leak now? You think there'll be another one now? I'd play Udogie over Gabriel, I think. Imagine if they're not leaks. Imagine if they're just saying those two because it's obvious they're going to start anyway. Like, that is a risk you could take, right? Next one, Sanchez starts. Oh, they tweeted now about Gusto. Or not? I don't know if Madison's starting. We're not going to find that out today. Chilwell playing on the wing, Sterling starting. I don't know. Presumably Chilwell will play on the wing again, though. Who to bench between Fernandes, Gabriel, and Akanji? I would probably bench Gabriel out of those particular ones. I was going to see if I should stay on until 1:45 because we could get the Chelsea news, but it looks like we're pretty much going to get it anyway. It's not my confirmed team. No, I need to bring in Jackson. I don't think there's any reason not to do it now. Alvarez is going to kill me, isn't he? I can just feel it. There's deep down, I'm like, should I get Alvarez? Tempted to triple captain Haaland. If you're going to do it in a single game week, this is the kind of week. You could also wait for Sheffield United at home, I guess. Keep Richarlison on a trade for Sterling for a -4. I would keep Martinez to Foden, Sterling, or JP to Alvarez. JP to Alvarez. What do you think about Rashford to Foden? It's not a move that I would make this week, but if you really want Foden, that's your only way to do it. Go for it. Ferguson or Martinelli to start. I mean, we know Ferguson's starting, right? But I'd probably start Martinelli. Chances of any leaked Chelsea news? Well, we've already got a couple of bits. Chilwell and Jackson are starting. But that's all so far. I'm sure there's more coming, though. Onana or Pickford to start this week? I go Onana, I think. Even with injuries to Shaw and stuff. Will there be as many double game weeks as last season? I would say probably not, no. Unless there's like... unless COVID comes back or, you know, causes havoc or another Monarch dies or something like that. Members only live streams. It depends. At the moment, they're usually on Thursdays because of Friday deadlines. Yeah, I just realised that's the problem. If I gift loads of memberships, the member streams get busier and I might not be able to get to everyone's questions. That's kind of my worry. That's why I don't really like push memberships, to be honest. Sterling starts. Sterling. We need someone interesting, like give us like Gusto or I don't know, Colwell. Come on, lads. If you're watching, give us someone interesting. I think Gusto would be more interesting, right? Because there has to be a slight doubt with him. Not a big doubt, but a slight doubt. I think Chilwell, Jackson, Sterling. Imagine Chilwell bench. I mean, that would be interesting, but he's not. He's playing. Lazy FPL have tweeted. Do I make my move now? I don't know why. I don't know what I'm waiting for, really. Sanchez starts. Brilliant. Thanks. I'd be too worried about tweeting Sanchez starts and then for some weird reason he doesn't. Imagine the amount of hate you get. It'd be an absolute nightmare. Pedro or transferring Whistle or roll? I'd probably just roll. Thoughts on Nketiah over Watkins this week? I'd probably start Watkins. There has to be a slight doubt about Nketiah's place. I'm sure he will start, but easy swap from João Pedro to Alvarez for a -4. I would just hold Pedro. Or Madison and João Pedro to Mbermo and Jackson for a -8. I don't know about those. Neither of those sound particularly great. As always, if you're happy with your team like that and it fits in with your longer term strategy, then maybe it's worth it, but they don't sound great. Are early kickoff transfers unlucky, like back in the early kickoff? Maybe. That gives me something else to kind of watch tonight, I guess, having Jackson in there. Oh, I've got Chilwell anyway. Thoughts on the FPL rule change? You must make a transfer every game week. No more rolling transfers. I don't know about that. I think rolling transfers, like, sometimes you just get lucky and you're able to roll transfers because you don't have injuries and stuff like that. So I kind of get it from that point of view. But also there's an element of planning and stuff by rolling the transfer. So I don't think it's necessarily fair to force people into it. Like, I've just got lucky that I can roll one of my transfers this week. That's why that is why I wouldn't necessarily like the ability to roll 3, 4, 5, 6 transfers, because if you get really lucky, you could just roll for ages, and then you're ahead. Not only you're ahead on transfers, but because you've got lucky, you've probably got more points as well. But I think forcing someone to do it every week would not be great. What 2 players should I start out of Gusto and Mbermo and Diaby? The 2 attackers. Start Akanji or Garnacho? Probably Akanji. I don't know if Garnacho is definitely going to start. Although he started the first 2, so maybe, but he's not been great. Estupinian, Walker, Gusto, Saliba, bench 1. Probably Walker. Rashford and Mbermo, Alvarez, Martinez, Foden, Wissa. I prefer the first one. Start Colwell over Saliba. I probably wouldn't. Got Chilwell and Estupinian. I'd probably play Saliba. 11 minutes. I should just make my transfers, really, shouldn't I? What am I waiting for? That's the question. What am I waiting for? It's because of Alvarez. I'm not going Alvarez. I don't think. Oh, why am I picking a Chelsea player over a Man City player? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And also, Jackson's gone up in price. So annoying. Oh, you can't even see it on screen. I have to go to this website, this screen, so you can see it. So you can see this side of the page. It leaves me 1.4 in the bank. I'd have to, if I get rid of Saliba or Estepina, I can get Trippier. I wonder if Trippier's close to falling at all. Probably not. He's starting to go down a bit. But either way, I've got enough money, and I'm going to have a couple of transfers hopefully before I need to do that. Okay. I'm really confused on Alvarez versus Jackson. I still have not seen Jackson score. But you might see him score today, right? Look, I think Alvarez is probably the better player. He's playing in the better team. There's a lot of reasons to like Alvarez, but minutes-wise, I just slightly prefer Jackson. Next two, they probably both play anyway, so I wouldn't really worry too much. If you want Alvarez, go for Alvarez. My plan was kind of always to get Jackson, so I guess I'm just going with that. And I almost started with him as well. You can't... Oh, it doesn't scroll down. Right, Jackson is in. Jackson is in. One transfer. Vice captain, I'm probably going to go for Rashford. I think Saka's quite close though. I'm going to stick with Man United. Why not? Just go all in on Man United this week. Vice captain. Pick points, pick team points. So let's just check this. Udogie first bench. I should probably have Kabori second bench, shouldn't I? Because Archer won't play. Turner on the bench, Pickford in goal, one free transfer, roll the other one. Sounds pretty good to me. Don't see a huge issue with that. How long are we waiting? How long are you waiting for what now? I kind of want to know if they're going to release any more teams because any more players. I don't know whether to hang around. Let me just see a sec. If Man United players blank again, what are you doing? I'll just reassess and see if what my best chances are next week. I'll tell you now. If I had to say, like, if Man United players blank, let's say they get nothing against Nottingham Forest, I would say there's like a 80% chance I just hold on to them for Game Week 4. Right now, that could change as we get closer. That could change by the time we get to next week's deadline. But right now, that is where we're at. I don't know why I'm always so panicked about the fact I've checked my team properly. Let me just do... Oh, how do I... Hang on. I'm trying to mess with the team so that I get the order of the players correct. But I can never get it done. People always do that. Like anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't want to change it on this screen because I've got it saved. Let me just go back to this now. Symmetry, yeah. I was trying to get Mbeumo in the middle, but I don't want to mess around with it too much ahead of the deadline. Because remember last time I did that, and then someone else was vice captain or something. It's just dodgy territory. I can't get Mbeumo to go in the middle. Maybe I need to put Fernandes on the bench, and then bring Fernandes back in. Oh, now I've completely ballsed it up. Lazy FPL said he was referring to Chilwell. Cole not confirmed. What do you mean? No, not sure what you mean. Eshpina versus West Ham better than Udogie versus Bournemouth? I would say yes, to be honest. Edinson and Saliba or Ramsdale and Vardiel? Definitely Edinson and Saliba. Start Madison and bench Richarlison. I'd probably play Richarlison. Doggers, new member, thank you very much. I would avoid any more super chats now because we're getting close to the deadline. We're getting a bit panicked, although I'm feeling pretty calm, I think. Thanks for the membership. Who to get for sure for next week? I don't want the drop in price, so we'll do an early transfer. I'm thinking Trippier. I mean, Trippier would be a good long-term move. I'll be careful about doing early moves, though. I get it, but what benefit does it have? It doesn't. How do I get them to move, though? How do I get Mbeumo in the bloody middle? It just seems like a pain. I feel like there's probably a pattern to it, and I just don't know what that pattern is. How do people do it? There must be a way. There must be like a. Oh, I don't know. It's doing me. I didn't. Or maybe I've got to put my striker on, and then take them off, and then put Mbeumo back in. No, it still hasn't worked. You need to switch your bench players. Yeah, I know I'm doing that, but Mbeumo never goes in the bloody middle. Ever. Oh, what if I do... Oh, hang on. I fixed it. I've fixed it. Okay, we can do this quick. Christ, this is like really not worth it. Okay. What's the time? Okay, I can save this. I'm doing it on the other screen so that so that I don't mess up on here. So you haven't actually. You could have had that very interesting content experience where you watched me mess with my team. But there you go. Mbeumo in the middle now. See, this is the problem. Vice captain has moved. This is why you shouldn't do these stupid things. You shouldn't do these stupid things. It's not worth it. I agree with anyone that's just told me it's a stupid thing to do. Also, it's going to mess up the graphics for my videos now because they're all in a different order. Is this the best time to do this with 4 minutes to go? Probably not. Probably not. The only leaks we've seen so far are that Sterling, Chilwell, and Jackson all start. I'll just see if we could get the team news at 6:45, and someone said, they said to me, "You just want to know if Adebayo starts, right?" Are we going to get any more news now? Jackson blank, possibly, yeah. Look, you've had it all in this stream, right? You've had me playing around with my team on the other screen so you can't even see it, and now you've got a lot of typing. Like, what more do you want? Seriously. What more do you want from a stream? By the way, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Massively appreciate it. Trying to hit 375k before the international break, which is next week, of course. We've got one more week. So yeah, make sure you do that if you haven't already. Be muchos appreciated. Oh. Jackson's not benched. Jackson's starting. Who would he even be benched for, by the way? Even if Pochettino wanted to bench him, who would they play? They've got no strikers. He has to play. Leaked lineups on Twitter was wrong last week. Were they? Anyway, I'm pretty confident Jackson's going to start, right? You need to get your kit sorted. Yes, my kit on FPL. You're right. Start Udogi or Gabriel. I do start Udogi. For sure. Fish and chips, Chinese, or a curry? Depends, really. For eating out, I'd say probably curry, to be honest. Lukaku starts. Oh my god, can you imagine? Imagine that. It would be a nightmare. We did not have Gusto, Carwell, etc. news today, so we could not share. We can only pass on what we have. Yeah, that's fair. That's obviously fair. I guess for FPL, you just want... It's the more interesting players that are... I mean, to be honest, it's still nice to know that Jackson and Chilwell start, right? It's still handy when you're making that move. Did the retriever watch the stream? Probably not. I mean, she'll have eaten now, so she's happy. I mean, we don't necessarily need the whole team anyway, right? It's Lee, that's Sterling, Chilwell, and Jackson Starting. So yes, is who's interesting to know for Chelsea? Gusto, Colwill. Who else is interesting to know? Thiago Silva, maybe. Oh, by the way, for anyone that's waiting, I'm gonna have no news before the deadline. This is for after the deadline. This is for like 6:45, whatever. So 15 minutes before the team news actually comes out. James ain't gonna start. I guess basically the defense. Yeah, the defense. What the hell? Why did you post a YouTube video with team selection then change it last minute? I don't know what you're on about. I've changed it to the player that I talked about bringing in on team selection. Are we locked in? Christ, I hope I had everything right in the end. We are locked in. We are locked in. Yeah, I'll hold on until 6:45, I reckon. But I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom before that. So before everyone jumps off, if you haven't already, do hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well if you've enjoyed the third deadline stream of the season. I'll be back. Oh, sorry, I'll be back in like 2 seconds, but we'll stay until 6:45 to get the just to see who's starting, basically. Obviously, deadline's passed, so it's not going to help you with your FPL team, but at least you know. Anyway, I'm back in a sec. Should definitely mute the mic. Definitely. Just in case, you know. I'm back. I am back. What's going down here? Chelsea lineup. Where are you getting that from? I mean, that would be the most obvious lineup, so I reckon that probably is what it would be. Gusto, Silva, Dizazi, Colwill, Caicedo and Enzo makes sense. Gallagher number 10. Yeah, I think that would make the most sense. Check the Will and E tweet. What do you mean Gusto benched? I think Will might be winding people up. The funny thing about that is, right, let's just say Haaland wasn't starting, and now I'm thinking to myself, am I happy with Rashford vice-captain, or would I rather put it on Saka or Fernandes? Idea for content. Phoenix of the week. Players are expected to rise from the ashes, come back from bad week. Yeah, possibly. This chair has more views than most of us. Why do people keep saying wash your hands? Of course I've washed my hands. You're acting like I've had to walk a mile to get to the bathroom. Your favourite hand wash? I don't really have a favourite. Anyway, let's move on. How many do you think Chelsea scored today? 2, maybe? Maybe 3? Could still get a decent score from that. Barbecue ribs. Sounds good. Yeah, they probably concede, actually, won't they? They probably will concede. But hopefully Chilwell gets some attack and returns. How many subs did we finish on today, by the way? Let's have a look. Why did I take Watkins out? Because I need to use a transfer, really. 371609. Very nice. Very nice. You think Luton will win 2-0? And that would be a nightmare for FPL. Someone said to me earlier, like, what are you going to do when Jackson blanks tonight? And my answer is probably just save him for Nottingham Forest at home. It's not really that big of an issue, to be honest. What earphones am I using? I like Beatron ones. Literally every FPL YouTuber bought in Jackson. Yeah, probably. Chelsea can't keep clean sheets. I mean, hopefully they can today. At some point they're going to, right? It's got to happen at some point. Why is watching you therapeutic? Probably because of my monotone voice that people keep telling me I've got. I mean, it is very monotone. Please give me a shout. Why? I'm going to miss Foden this round. Yeah, probably. Probably. Oh, do you know what? Actually, I should tweet my team out. Oh, hang on. Everyone's going to be super surprised that I bought Jackson because I don't think anyone's really done that this week. Let me see. Who have I sold? Watkins. Oh, transfer. Watkins to Jackson, roll the other transfer. Yeah, that's about it. Let's talk ASMR. What change would you make to FPL to improve it? I think pricing players better would be good, to be honest. I think that could go a long way. Has anyone ever told you that your voice very slightly resembles Rio Ferdinand's? Never. I don't think it does either. So guess how many Fodens I got? You definitely took out Martinez for Foden. Or maybe Richarlison, I don't know. If Chilwell is basically Jackson's partner in the box, it'll make him a genuine captain in certain easier fixtures coming up. Yeah, possibly. But the problem is, Haaland exists, right? Thoughts on Pinnock? Is he more defensive than Henry? I don't know about I don't know about defensive, but like he's got pretty good goal threat from set pieces. Your videos ease my stresses. Really? Listen to me talking rubbish. How many points am I expecting from my team this week? On paper, I think this team looks absolutely great. But obviously, I need Man United players and stuff doing well. I actually kept both Marseille and Richarlison. I got Richarlison for these 3 game weeks, but not removing him for what I got him for. Oh, you didn't remove Martinelli before Fulham at home. You should have done it. You were so keen on me doing it. Chelsea need to spend another billion. I reckon 2 billion then there. The thing with Chelsea is I think I saw, was it Gary Neville saying this the other day? They have they have spent a lot of money on youth, right? They're hoping that in the future they'll be great. But the thing is, it's great given all these long contracts because you can amortize whatever it is, whatever the word is, the one that all the Chelsea accountants talk about, right? Amortize. I can't remember what it's called now. It's great that you can put so many people over such long contracts and you can keep in line with FFP. That's great, unless you need to sell them and they don't want to go because they've got super long contracts. So we'll have to see what happens. I mean, it's not like other clubs like Man United are necessarily great in the transfer market either. Are you trying to convince yourself? Interesting. Amortization. Is that it? Are you worried about having Udogie on the bench? Not really, to be honest with you. No. I don't know. I feel like people sometimes want me to panic more than I do. Like, so there will be game weeks where I panic about a last-minute transfer. I'm not sure who to get in, all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I've got 3 defenders who I think are better than Udogie, so I bench Udogie. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. I will be watching the game tonight, yeah. Don't think I've got anything else on. How many of the games are you going to get to watch this weekend? So I watched tonight's game. I might watch Spurs. Maybe. I'm not sure what I'm doing there. Maybe not. I can't watch Man United, unfortunately, because it's on TV, which is really annoying. Especially when you got Pickford in Burmo and Triple Arsenal at the same time. Don't think I can watch Brighton, West Ham. And I'll probably watch Man City and probably Liverpool tomorrow. So we'll see. See what's going on. I don't really plan these things. If I'm in, I'll watch them. If I'm not, I'm not. Bring your dog on the stream. Nah, too much hassle. So you don't really want to be here. Definitely jealous of how calm and analytical you are. The thing is, I'm not always like this, but at the start of the season, right, you've literally just wildcarded, so the chance of your team needing massive changes are not really there. And I find it really difficult to kind of, take players out before Fulham at home, Forest at home. So my decisions are really made, right? I didn't even really want to take Watkins out, but I did in the end. So hopefully it works out. It might not. Like, I'm perfectly prepared for Watkins to score loads of points. Like, it could absolutely happen. Nice. Oh, when you said nice watch, I thought you meant like is in the stream. Maybe you actually mean the watch. I've had to start wearing this. Like, my wife bought it for me when we got married. I've had to start wearing this because I usually wear my Apple Watch. But do you know why I've got this watch on? Like, genuine reason is because when I wear my Apple Watch to do videos, because I'm moving my hands around all the time, it counts steps. So I take it off when I record. But if I take it off and just leave it off, I've got a massive tan line when my watch was on holiday. So that's basically why I'm wearing this watch. That is the exact reason. Because I don't have the tan line and it doesn't count steps for me. That's basically it. Do I think I'll stay in Ireland? For now, yeah. No thoughts about leaving. How old are you? You look oldest. Thanks. I heard rumours is being tapped up by Saudi Fantasy League for 100 million a year. Oof. Hit me up. Email in the description below. Yes, people have told me about bloody Hopper from Stranger Things many times. I don't even watch that show, so I don't even know who that is. Missed the price increase for Jackson. Do you think he'll continue to go up? He will if he does well tonight, because then people will see the fixtures and they'll want him in. We'll have to see. I mean, if he blanks again, three blanks in a row, including Nottingham Forest, including Luton at home, he might even get sold, and he might actually lose money. So it can go both ways. Let's see what happens. And obviously, a lot depends on what else happens, right? If Watkins scores a hat-trick and Jackson blanks, then I can tell you which way the prices are going. How many points do I expect? I'm saying 80. I'm saying this is an 80-point type week. I'm confident. What player that you don't own worries you most this week? What score performance would force you to bring him in? I don't think any score would force me to bring anyone in. I guess because of all the chat, I'm most worried about Alvarez and Foden. And I guess I'm a little bit worried about taking Watkins out. But not massively. The headphones, I'm just listening to music. Martinelli brace would be great. I mean, he might not even start. God, I don't even want to find out, actually. Is Pedro Porro a good shout? I don't think so, because he's not guaranteed to start. Like, he might not start this week. Could be Emerson Royale instead. Can I ask now? Ask what now? About Martinelli? No, not happening. Not going to find out about Martinelli this early. All us Irish subscribers now losing our... Why are you all losing your SHIT? Forest aren't the easy beats you think they are. It doesn't matter though. I feel like we get this every season, right? We'll say that we're targeting fixtures, and people will be like, oh, "They're not as easy as you think." But at some point, we have to target some fixtures. Okay, we're not targeting Arsenal away, Man City away, Brighton away, etc. We're targeting Luton, Forest, Bournemouth, Burnley, Sheffield United. Right? They are going to be most likely the best fixtures, and that's all there really is to it. So you're right. Man United might not smash Nottingham Forest, but will they score? I think there's a good chance. And you got to remember, teams don't need to put 5, 6, 7 goals past another team for them to be good in FPL. If Fernandes gets an assist for Rashford and gets 3 bonus and Rashford gets 2 bonus, that's pretty good, right? And they only have to score 1 goal between them. Or together. You know what I mean, right? Combined for 1 goal. So I agree. Based on what we've seen so far for Nottingham Forest, they haven't been that easy to score against. But it's only been 2 games. And I think in pre-season, most of us would not be thinking, oh, wait a second, Nottingham Forest at home. Not happening. So I think it's perfectly reasonable to keep Man United players this week, and I won't if Rashford and Fernandes blank, I will not admit that it was a bad decision to keep them, because I just do not think it is. Yeah, we'll get the info in just a second. I guess I should tweet it out as well. I mean, Man United and Chelsea could both lose. It's absolutely possible, right? Gusto, yeah, basically everyone starts that you think will start. Gusto, Thiago Silva, Dizazi, Colwell, Sterling, Jackson all start. Let me just do that. Colwell, Gusto, Sterling. We didn't say about Chilwell. Oh, Bell for Luton as well. Yeah, Sanchez starts, right? Ross Barkley starts. Oh, Chilwell's captain. Right, I think that's everything we're going to get. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. I'm not going to wait all the way up until 7 o'clock. If you've enjoyed that, make sure to give it a like, hit that subscribe button. I'll be back on Sunday for knee-jerk reactions. Hopefully, it's because Man United have smashed it. Probably not, though. Watkins to Alvarez, good move. Confirmed bias needed. It's not a bad move, absolutely. There's no point in waiting until 7 because we already know the stuff, right? Right, I'm off. Thank you. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you again on Sunday. Catch you later.